SEN Match of the Day.
He has a bounce, he crosses 50, he pins the ears back, and he drills the goal! You can tweet that and hashtag it bloody good.
It goes high up and under the full foot. Becky's taken a ripper!
Makes a name for himself with these long bombs from outside the arc. It's a long bomb from outside the arc!
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to VAFA Match of the Day action here on vafa.com.au and the SEN app. There's just 3 weeks left until finals arrive in the 2026 William Buck Premier Men's campaign. And today we head back to Toorak Park. And what a match we've got in store for you today. A fixture that could well settle which team secures the coveted double chance. Old Xaverians have set the benchmark for most of 2026, and as things stand, are well placed to secure a top two finish as they aim to launch yet another assault on this year's flag. While the minor premiership is still in play for today's hosts, what's sure to be more front of mind this afternoon is the prospect of sending a message to the rest of the top four and taking care of a fellow premiership contender. Following close behind the Xavs, however, are today's opposition in St Kevin's. Blessed with an embarrassment of riches up front, no team scored more points than Anthony Lynch's offensive juggernaut in 2026. Win by enough on the road today, and the SKOB can leapfrog the Xavs into second spot on the ladder and regain control of their own destiny as they pursue a top two finish of their own. This is VAFA Match of the Day, thanks to William Buck on the VAFA website and the SEN app. Matthew Donald with you again this afternoon live from Toorak Park. My co-commentator, it's good to have one, Brent Sternberg is with me. Good afternoon to you, Brent.
Hello, Matty. Nice to be here again, back on the SEN Match of the Day, and set up beautifully there, mate. I mean, two big teams, two of our blue bloods in the A-grade competition, and both teams who we know are locked in for finals. They've had great seasons. Xavs been a little bit patchy in recent times. They had that win streak to start the season. They had that little stretch on top of the William Buck Premier ladder, but that's gone now, and they're unlikely to get it back with the way that the Blues are going. And then you've got the SKOBers, won 5 of their last 6. They're always there or thereabouts, aren't they? So huge game coming up here today at the luxurious Toorak Park.
No, the revamped Toorak Park. I mean, I don't know how much longer we can run with that one for, Brent, but it is looking $1 million today. Our VAFA Match of the Day expert joins us. Well, he's not just that. He's really been our Match of the Day all-rounder. He's been the boundary rider, he's been the interviewer, he's been our expert commentator, he's been the siren blower, and he's the 2-time Premiership coach, 3-time Coach of the Year with Elsternwick. He is the one and only Hugo Higginbotham. Hugo, welcome back.
Hello, Matty. Great to be here. And what a day we've got today. It's blockbuster sort of status, this game. We've been waiting for this one for a little while. And if the feeling in the reserves game is anything to go by, there's no love loss out there at the moment. There's been little spot fires everywhere. We should be in for a great day. Now, Matty, there's conspiracy theories everywhere.
Oh, we love a good conspiracy theory, Hugo. What have you got?
There was an incident Thursday night at TH King Oval. No accusation has been forthright here. Just like Peachy's lawyers to know that there's no accusations flying around at all. Yeah. But Anthony Lynch went to flick the light switch for training. Lights did not work.
Oh, dear.
So there's been quite a few conspiracy theories.
Someone's cut the power.
Well, I'm pretty sure that the power bill would have been paid, so there's no issue. I know it's hard to pay a bill in Melbourne at the moment, but the power bill has been paid, and they actually had to do satellite training. They carpooled, went down to Rigetti Oval, had a fantastic session, but is there something in that, Matty?
Oh, well,
this is just a layer to what we've got today.
We're gonna find out. I mean, hard to really gauge a team's match plan if you won't let them actually train, Hugo. But it's an interesting one. We might see if I can remember to put that to Anthony Lynch if we get him in the post match. We've got to go down to the boundary line because we've got to round out our commentary quartet. Cooper Watkins is back boundary side. Welcome to you, Cooper.
Boys, thank you for having me. It's a ripper day for footy again down here at Toorak Park. A bit of wind to the left of your dials is the only thing to sort of report on, maybe 1 or 2 goals. But other than that, very nice. And I can't confirm nor deny whether the lights are working here.
I've got the switch beside me, Coop, so I can turn them on if you want.
And Cooper, there was a bit of rain forecast during the week, but so far so good?
No, beautiful day for footy, Matty. Nothing, no rain to report of, and I hope there won't be any.
No, beautiful. Thank you for that there, Cooper. And we'll continue to cross down to you at ground level throughout the afternoon as information comes to hand. I suppose it's like the footy equivalent of a cricket team sort of digging up the pitch the night before a big game game.
Well, yeah, that's happened quite a lot.
So that's happened a fair bit there,
yes.
Hugo. Let's have a look at these two teams firstly, because my goodness, as far as match of the days go, this one is right up there. We've got second v third on the ladder at the moment. Old Xavs with a 12-3 record, percentage of 141. St Kevin's in third spot, 11-4 record, percentage of 132.7. And both teams coming off big wins last week. Old Xaverians too good for University Blacks, a 67-point win. St Kevin's defeating Old Haileybury by 48 points, and when they kicked 18 goals, 20. Could have been an awful lot more than that. If St Kevin's win by enough today, Hugo, they can leapfrog the Xavs into second spot. How have you viewed the two performances from last week?
Oh, look, they were both pretty comprehensive, considering I know St Kevin's went through a real tough trot in the middle of the year with player availability due to travel. I was speaking with Luke Marnie, their ball movement coach, this morning, and they feel like they're at the other side of that. So some handy ins today, which we'll touch on when you speak with Plugger. But they're probably not at their strongest. And I know that speaking with Dan Donati yesterday, they've got some really good ins, Xavs. So it may come down to cattle on the park, but that's an easy way to look at it from the outside. Their form, both forms last week was outstanding. They're kicking big scores, which is what I like. So I really feel today that we might be in for a shootout, Matty. It is perfect conditions out there. And both of these teams like to attack through the middle of the ground after a good intercept off half-back, retain possession and firepower up forward at both ends of the ground, Matty. It's going to be exciting.
How much do they have to win by, St Kevin's, to claw back that percentage?
They've got to overtake 9% overall, but obviously factoring in the fact that, for everything St Kevin's gain, the Xavs will lose. Yeah. And it probably depends on exactly how much Xavs score as well. It's not like you sort of raw goal difference. It's not just a margin. It factors in exactly how many points so the Xavs score. So that's an answer that will probably become clearer throughout the course of the day.
I think at this stage of this season, because they've both probably kicked over 1,000 points each, you'd be talking, they'd have to win by 100 to regain that much, really? I would think. Well, a differential of 100, I think, anyway, so it might be a moot point.
What do you think this game will look like today, Hugo? You touched on it there, but both teams who, they've been in the top four essentially all season, these two teams, I think... the SKOBers in their victory last week kicked 18 goals 20. Yes, so a lot of, get ready for that siren, by the way.
I'm
a lot of 7. A lot of scores in that game. What's that? 38 scores, and then the Xavs kicked 17 goals in their win over the Blacks. Do you think that this will be a game where we'll have 18 goals to 15, or will they try and strangle it a bit more than that?
This will be a strangle. This will be a bit of a strangle, this game, because they're both very good defensively and around the middle of the ground. I can't see any team having a massive passage of play where they're going to kick 5 or 6. There will be momentum swings, and you can get a few on the board early, but both teams are very good defensively. They're, both back lines are very accomplished, and you've got to look at the midfield power as well. Look, this Xavier midfield is stacked. That is one thing for sure. So there's... I've got to push the siren again. Just double invoice, Jason Bennett, going your way. So it's going to be interesting. Kazitsky out, Tucker out. That's a forward firepower, but they were still able to kick a massive score last week.
They do get Doug Kerr back in, though, today, the SKOBers, who's a great avenue for goal.
He is. Been away for a little while, but has been training, apparently, according to Plugger. So it'll be interesting. One thing's for sure, Matty, you would remember we called the first game this year, I think it was at TH King, it was Xavs St Kevin, and that was one of the most physically bruising encounters that I've seen for a long time, definitely this season. So I would expect that today, judging by the reserves, how much feeling there was in that. Feeling between these two clubs.
Should we mention very quickly, speaking about the midfield, we do have a couple of milestones on either side of the equation here today?
We do, and when I spoke to both Anthony Lynch and Dan Donati, I asked them both about their milestone players. So for Old Xaverians, Marcus Stavru, who's gone okay, he's been a good solid contributor. He plays his 100th game for the club today. And Jack Andriski as well for St Kevin's, both representing the club for the 100th time this afternoon. So we wish them the very best of luck. The number 3, Stavru for Old Xaverians, and for Andriski, he'll be running around out there on the number 31. Why don't we listen to some of the coaches? We've already talked a bit about Anthony Lynch and St Kevin's forward line. Well, I caught up with him a little bit earlier. We'll have a listen. So I'm here with St Kevin's old boys coach Anthony Lynch. Anthony, thanks for your time. A big game today, a top 4 clash. How are you feeling ahead of it?
Yeah, excited. It's absolutely top 2 on the line for us. So if we're able to win today, it certainly keeps our chances alive. And if we don't, we'll probably miss the opportunity. So, keen to see how our boys go.
As you said, it is in your own hands. You win today, you win by enough, you can even leapfrog the Xavs. Has that been something you've been really trying to stress with the players during the week?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, look, it's probably challenging to get in front of them today, given the percentage difference, but certainly to get equal on points is what our objective would be. And yeah, I think you've got to be honest about what the situation is. I don't want our players to shy away from it. I want them to know what's on the line, and I hope they stand up and get it done.
How are they going to get it done?
Yeah, well, we've got a pretty good plan. Like, I mean, it's been a fair while since we've played them, but we've sort of watched some of them recent games. Yeah, there's some areas. I mean, clearly their midfield's probably. I mean, they're strong all over the ground. It'd be unfair to single them out, but clearly their midfield's their strength. So yeah, our players' ability to sort of win or halve that part of the ground, I think, will set up a win.
And a word on Jack Andruski playing his 100th game for the club today. Special occasion for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's an amazing person and player. He's a real selfless player. Always has to play on the opposition's best forward in some capacity, and he'll have that opportunity again today on McIsaac.
Well, Anthony, we thank you for your time and wish you the best of luck today.
All good. Thanks, Matt. Cheers, mate.
Thank you to Anthony Lynch, and a little bit of a tactical giveaway. He's normally one to keep his cards close to his chest, Plugger, but just gave us a little bit of an insight there. Andruski on McIsaac, Hugo.
Here I am.
Welcome back.
Yeah, thanks. Just had to duck out. No, that's one that I was actually thinking about, Matty. I was thinking who would get the job on Charlie McIsaac, one of the most dangerous forwards in the competition. And there we go, Jack Andruski. He's always very good with his time and his information, Pluggo. Do you know that they put their team out every Thursday night? No games, no nothing. What team list they put out on Play HQ, that is a team that, unless there's been a late change. So he's very good at that sort of stuff, Anthony Lynch.
No, he is indeed. 3 changes for St Kevin's. Jack Marnie, George Dillamitru and Doug Kerr, which we mentioned a little earlier. Robert Larcher, Connor Lynch and Will Mazzio making way. So there's some really useful inclusions there in those 3, Hugo. Yeah,
definitely. What I like about those inclusions is the exclusions, Matty. Now, you might think, what's his idiot on about? Which I've heard quite a few times in the past. Yes, that's all right. If you're omitting players, not through... not through their form, but because there's someone better coming into the side rather than going out through an injury, that is a very good sign. That is where you want to be. You want to have pressure on selection and integrity on selection as well. So you've got to earn your place in the side, which is always a very encouraging sign.
Is Mazzio a big out for them? I've heard he's kicked a lot of goals in the APS last year. Well, was that this year?
He kicked more goals than anyone else in the APS.
Well, we got
season.
That stat out earlier. That's good.
No, we had to knock that one over. Yeah, more goals than anyone else. Has not quite been able to replicate that, but he's coming out of the APS last season. He's still only a very young player. But I think the fact that he's been breaking through at all. Did he kick a bag of 3 earlier in the year, if I recall correctly?
Is 3 a bag?
I think when you're in your first season, I think 3 is a bag.
Oh, it's more a purse. But anyway.
Well, while we debate that, why don't we have a bit of a listen to the chat I had earlier with Dan Donati, the old Xaverians coach. Chance to send a real message to the rest of the competition and an opportunity to all but lock up a double chance opportunity for them. Let's have a listen to that chat. So I'm here with old Xavs coach Dan Donati. Dan, a top 4 battle today. These 2 teams fighting for the double chance. How are you feeling ahead of it?
Oh, mate, feeling a little bit toey for games like today. You know, we love playing against St Kevin's. We've always had a great rivalry and respectful rivalry with them. So 2nd v3, fair bit on the line, obviously, today because the ladder's tight. So, no, look, we're obviously pumped. It's that time of year where the boys are up and about a little bit. The ground's looking dirty and a bit dead, but it could be worse. So, no, we're pumped.
You've hosted the other top 4 teams here in the last month. Haven't quite been able to get over the line. What are you looking to try and do differently today?
Oh, look, I thought Uni Blues were fantastic out here against us and really converted up their end and with a better side. I thought we played really well against Old Brighton and didn't convert, didn't take chances and invited pressure. But there were really good signs that day, and we took that into last week's games against Black. So we're just looking for continuous improvement now. So we can improve again off last week. It should put us right in the frame today.
Goss and Guiney back in the lineup for you today. Must be pleasing to be starting to piece some of that starting back 6 together for you.
Yeah, that's been a challenge. We had Jed Fenley back last week, of course, and Gossy today. Gines will be back this week as well. So obviously the back 6 is crucial, and we've had to mix and match a little bit. And that's certainly not the reason why we've had a challenging month either. There's been plenty of other reasons, but it's great to get them back. Gossy's so crucial, so it's great.
A special day for Marcus Staver, his 100th game for the club today. He's been a pretty handy play for you.
Yeah, I just talked about Stav inside, and we had a good thing on Thursday night. Look, today's not about him, and he'd be the first guy to say that. But what a special player he's been for our footy club. He's carried the sort of burden of leadership here for 8 or 9 years. He's an absolute beauty. So, yeah, rap for him, and hopefully the boys can get a win for him.
Well, Dan, we wish you the best of luck. Thanks for your time.
Cheers.
Dan Donati there, the old Xaverians coach. We thank him for his time and for Anthony Lynch, and we hope that one of them is going to join us. Well, at least one of them, unless it's a draw, that they join us in the post-game. Brent, I don't know if you've heard of VAFA Crunch Time, but it is the post-match show that Hugo and I have hosted throughout the course of the season. And
how did you think of that name?
It just came to me in a moment of inspiration, Brent. The changes that we had confirmed coming into the match, Will Goss, Nick Guiney, and Alwyn Davey were the three who had come in, making way Jack O'Sullivan, Sam Nicholas and Liam Danielis Morley. But Hugo, just having a bit of a look out there, looks like there, and according to the team sheets, there might be a couple of other changes as well.
No, I think Ollie Seston is just wearing the number 38 instead of the 16. For what reason, I don't know. But always interesting, though, just those little picadillos that get thrown up. Community football. That's why you've got the rush column down there, matey, for the rush goals.
Yes,
we'll no doubt you'll regale us with that story as the game transpires.
If it happens.
If it happens.
I'm not just going to shoehorn it in.
No, you never do. No, it's good. Okay, so just looking out here now, old Xavs will be kicking to the Toorak train station end of the ground. We see Charlie McIsaac down there rallying the troops.
So, gents, there is one change. Alwyn Davies come out. Tex Wanganeen in.
Right out.
So number 34, Tex Wanganeen, will be out there. His first game since round 12 against the University Blues.
You can thank the Carlton VFL coaches for that. I noticed he was one of about 100 emergencies in that team, so I imagine Alwyn's going to be in that game when the Blues play. They're playing tomorrow. In the VFL. You two picked the SKOBers on the podcast, I think, didn't you?
I'm
You're changing?
I'm changing. Just on the back of award-winning podcast.
That's going to be an interesting VFL encounter, that one tomorrow. Carlton, Hugo, do you know who they're playing?
This is world record status. If you just shoehorned the Bulldogs in before the first bounce, that is we're heading to finals and we're heading in good form.
Oh, we are ticking along quite nicely. Old Xavs, the host, kicking to the left of your radio dial, the Toorak station end of the ground, the left of your screen, however you're watching this match this afternoon. And we're in position now. Old Xaverians and St Kevin's, second v third. We're waiting on the siren.
It's already gone.
And we're underway, Brent.
So Spralia and Coates go into the first ruck contest. Coates took it out of there, threw it to Mansfield, who cleared the centre circle area, but it's coming back here to Marcus Stavro, who will get the first disposal in game 100, and Goss back into the team, comes racing off half-back, drives the Xavs team long into the 50 at the left of the dial. Coates got back there quickly to lend a hand, and Andriski gets a kick, so both milestone men into the game early. The Xavs come unstuck, SKOBers I should say come unstuck. It's a kick across the goal mouth there from Lane, gets away from Gunson. They're under the pump here, St Kevin's. Seston, Brusnahan, good smothered there by Cameron, who then ran flat stick into Goss. It's willing already in the contest. We'll get Hugo's thoughts on that in a moment. We'll get his thoughts now as we have a ball up at centre half forward for the old Xaverians.
Yeah, as we expected, it started with a lot of fire out there, but some really good forward defensive pressure from the Xavs early.
So Stavro on hands and knees, got it out to Fisher. His hand pass cut out though. Kick up the line there from Dolman out towards the wing. Bouncing football, races on. Who's going to get there first? Darmody leading all comers to the footy, and he's shoved over the line by Jack Whitehead. Out of play, boundary throw in on the far side of the ground. Again, this promises to be. It's opening turn brought to you by the Salter Brothers. And of course, if you're here at Toorak Park, you can enjoy the commentary on 11:16 SEN in real time via SEM Stadium Technology tool on the SEN app. So toss back in Coates and Spralia. We'll be saying that a fair bit this afternoon. He gets over the back of both of them, neither able to gather it cleanly. St Kevin's chance here. Good tackle applied though by Thomas Dunn, who was charging through, the vice captain, knocking things up and forcing another stoppage. Still on the far wing, just on the edge of the centre square. And the ruck getting it on that occasion either. Lane in there. Quite get a hand pass away, comes out to Marnie, one of three ins, over to Matheson. Standing start on the left foot, kick down the line, it's come off hands. And then applying a good tackle again there, holding the ball, free kick going the way of Cam Hodges, who's got it on the wing here for St Kevin's.
Liam Gunson involved on the outer side as well. He's not going to be allowed to take this kick though, because as Matty rightly pointed out, Hodges was the tackler. He gives it off to Gunson. The SKOBers' first entry inside forward 50, and coming out to mark is Darmody, completely and utterly unopposed. And the first genuine look at goal will fall the way of the number 49 for the SKOBers. He's kicked 6 goals, 3 this season. And St Kevin's, who haven't been great starters this season, they've only been in front at quarter time 4 times this year. They're trying to get a good start here away from home. Approaching the 3-minute mark, Darmody having a look at this kick here. He's just away to the left, 30 metres from the goal line to the right of the dial. Darmody low and flat and not particularly straight, and it won't trouble anyone except the boundary umpire, who signals out of bounds on the full. Disappointing miss there, Hugo, and a chance for the St Kevin's to get off on the right foot.
Absolutely. So scoreboard pressure early is going to be very important in this game, so that would be very frustrating for Anthony Lynch. A very kickable goal there.
Whitehead with a kick down the line. That's carried a fair way. That's landed up on the wing. Not sure if there's any sort of breeze. Dillamitru gets the hand pass. His kick in board went over the head of Matheson. He's got a bit of a problem now. He did well, Matheson. Got rid of his man, Westcott, pretty easily. And he fans a kick out wide looking for Dolman. It wouldn't quite sit for him, and it's trickled over the boundary line for a throw-in. It's come off hands.
Just with that kick, long kick down the line before, all those players have come forward. St Kevin's really holding their zone behind there, letting them go. That's why they got that intercept and easy exit.
Billy Coates wearing white boots this afternoon. He normally wears the darker variety. That's a bit of a change of look for him. He gets front spot here and wins the hit out. The can pass over the top, and a little flick on here, a chance for St Kevin's. It was well done by Pfeiffer initially. Kick inside 50. Darmody coming in from the side again. He couldn't complete the mark. It falls here to Cameron, who has a flying shot at goal. It bounces on its point and then stays out. Goss gives the hand pass away. Xavs will look to come out of here. Brosnahan, he slips the hand pass out to Knott. Kicked up the line is a good one. Taken here by Seston on the wing. And he's looking to go with an option further afield. He was looking for McIsaac, but it's been cut out by George Dillamitru on the wing.
You just see the effort there. They saw McIsaac coming, so they were dropping one in front of McIsaac all the time.
First game since round 11 for the St Kevin's half-back flanker. Kicks up to the half-forward line. Spoils were made. And Hart kicks a high up and under back towards the wing. Seston with the titanic spoil. Goes all the way to the boundary line. Fetched by Charlie Knott. Kept it in. Dinks a little kick over the top to Ganji. Played it really well there, Charlie Knott. Clever kick. And Ganji all the way back to Goss. Another one back in the team today. Oh, gee, laced with danger. The kick into centre half back. Had to get it away quickly there, Woodhouse. It's up for grabs in the middle. Fisher, who I thought was quiet last week. Away to McRae, who slips his way out of there. Handball to Lane on the far side of the ground. Kicks the old Xavs side in towards the 50. Spoil made by Seston. McIsaac hooks it round the body. He gets it right there. Oh, touched. Not touched. A goal for Charlie McIsaac. Dillamitru judged that one poorly in the end. Just got it an inch over the line, and Charlie McIsaac, as we should have all expected, kicks the first goal of the day for Salter Brothers. And the Xavs are 1 straight 6, and St Kevin's yet to score, and here's Hugo.
Well, that was just amazing execution there by Charlie McIsaac, who was actually out of the contest there when the ball carried over his head and just anticipated that ball. And that's a crunning goal, so that was outstanding. I was really concerned with that lateral ball movement from Xavs with Goss, with that kick that they didn't execute at halfback, but they worked it out of there really well. Made the most of that opportunity going forward, which is the day is a day lending itself for that.
Great start. The Xavs, it's taken 6 minutes for the first score, but a goal and a beauty from Isaac.
Mark of the day contender.
Goal of the day, yeah, I would say an early one for Gorman Commercial.
Hard to be mark of the day contender.
And they'll get it here through Westcott. They've got another opportunity. Fisher with a spearing dart in towards the pocket, looking for Sesson, nowhere near it. Triples out of play, boundary throw. Melbourne's Commercial property leader, Gorman Commercial. It was a great snap around the body. I thought Dillamitru might have got something on it on the line, but he didn't put any protests in, so he must have thought he just misjudged it. So the ball will be tossed in here deep inside, attacking 50 for the Xavs, who lead by a goal to nothing. Coates front spot. Marnie Fisher fell into his back there, but it's a no free kick.
This ruck battle's intriguing. They're very strong lads.
Coates just thumps it out of there unceremoniously. Cameron was there. Pfeiffer have it across, and now Marnie again, who's had a couple of touches early, gives it across. Now Cameron again, looking with a kick in board, a beauty to Dillamitru, and he's got players free. They can run this to goal. Dolman all on his own at half forward. He takes a bounce. He loops the hand pass over the top. Kerr back into the side. Took his time. Found a man at full forward. Mark's taken in the goal square.
Will Cooper Amazing little passage of play there. Sporting number 55 today.
Yeah, so there's a couple of number changes.
Yeah, that's right. We're on to that. We were good. We picked up on that.
No, good on you, Hugo.
No, that was a really good set piece of play by St Kevin's there. They backed themselves in to win the ball, and they had that chain of free players up the ground.
That's how impressive his start has been. He's played 2 games. He's already getting a number upgrade, Will Cooper. Point blank range, pops it through. He continues his perfect record in front of goal, Will Cooper. 6 straight in Premier Men's this season. It's 1 straight apiece on the Salter Brothers scoreboard, one of Australia's leading alternative investment managers with a focus on specialist property equities and credit.
See Jack Marnie there, very handy inclusion in the side. I was nervous with that inside 45 kick, but he executed that beautifully, set them off, and then they just tore towards goals, and they had all the answers up the field. So Xavs were coming at the ball, but they backed themselves in. So very nice passage of play there by the SKOBers.
St Kevin's a long while. Will Cooper, his 8th season, only just broke into the senior side this year, normally in the 75s. So you scribbled down his updated number there. Is that meant to be 55?
Yeah, it is.
Jeez.
That's all right.
1 goal each of 2. First quarter for Salter Brothers. Didn't get too far from the restart in the middle. Coates wrapped up by Stavro.
I was leaning over the pen in the opposite hand. Harsh on him.
Back underway in the middle. There was some blocking being done in the ruck. St Kevin's take the advantage, and it's a good one too. Gunson's kick dribbles into the pocket. Ollie Gill ran past it, worked off it there by that was Tom Dunn, who got the handball quickly away to Fennelly, so they hold up defensively there, the Xavs. Fennelly's kick goes out to the far side. Seston gets there to take the footy, but he was the wrong side of the boundary, but the umpire said it was touched on the way there, so we'll have it thrown in on the far side. Xavs in there, back in their home jumpers today, the black with the red piping. And the SKOBers in their home jumpers with the white away shorts. Got a couple of players down below us just being tended to by the physios. More on that in a moment. Ball comes spinning back into play on the far side. Mansfield taken immediately by Hansen. Will toss it up.
Amazing. Colin McRae getting a little bit of treatment there for the high hamstring. Keep an eye on that one. Get Coop to have a look at that.
Hansen winning the clearance. Kick up towards half forward. Goes through Seston's legs. Playing a strong tackle there was Woodhouse that time on Phillips. And the umpire's going to pay a free kick here, holding the ball. Trying to figure out who actually dived on. Then the end it was Woodhouse, who had forced St Kevin's defenders fall on top of him. And the free kick to be taken here for St Kevin's.
Your man.
Angus Hart, outstanding at Princess Park earlier this season. Short to Phillips, who's been a terrific pickup. Normally plays down back. Started forward last week. And
just a lazy fall.
Just kick forward. He's down the line, and that's going to flip very close to the boundary line. Oh, it's a great chest mark from Andruski. Ball dropped down vertically just about, but he judged it well. And in his 100th game today, Andruski, long kick down the line. Spoiled there by Coates. Dolman loops a hand pass over the top. It was thrown out there to Gunson. Fumble, and then Hodges in there. He's caught a good tackle. And the umpire up against the boundary line. The broadcast swing calls for the footy once more.
Why have they started Phillips behind the ball, St Kevin's, Hugo? Is that horses for courses?
Yeah, a little bit. So now they've power up in the Xavs forward line, and they've got a few players back in their own forward line today, St Kevin's. So.
Stavro, he did get the hand pass away, but he must have just trickled over the boundary line, and it will be tossed back in.
Yeah, I think Ethan Phillips, I think he's turned himself in one of those good old-fashioned swingmen.
Tell you what a useful tool he's going to be in September. Former AFL footballer, of course, Ethan Phillips.
Umpire throws it in right in front of the St Kevin's benches at half forward for the SKOBers. Mansfield tracking it all the way to the boundary, and Gunson as well, and just ran out of a bit of room. 30 disposals, 8 marks, 5 inside 50s last week for Liam Gunson, one of his best games of the season. This being his 50th senior game for the SKOBers. So a throw in right where we were, right half forward for St Kevin's. Coates bunts it forward, but it's turned away by Guine. It's a good kick into the middle of the ground. Seston in front takes the mark. McIsaac one out deep. Kick doesn't go that far. Went to the edge of the centre square for Wanganeen. Probably just too far out to score. He prods the kick deep out into the pocket. It's just a beat too wide from McIsaac, who got a fingernail on it and nothing more, and it's out of bounds in the right forward pocket for the old Xaverians. 1 straight 6 each of 2. 12.5 minute mark first quarter for Salter Brothers. Here's Matthew Donald. Been
low scoring thus far, but a very open and entertaining game to this point. Coates and that time was Woodhouse doing the ruck work. It's gathered here by Mansfield. On the left boot goes with a kick up the line, playing in front. Good mark taken on the second attempt by Ollie Gill. Juggled it well. And now he runs off his line and drives the kick long up towards half forward. Doug Kerr flew very early there. And it's going to be a free... Oh, no, it's going to be a free kick going against St Kevin's for... I'm going to assume it's an unrealistic attempt. The Xavs ball.
Just noticed early today that St Kevin's are looking to play on, put speed on the ball at every opportunity.
Whitehead's kick, and he goes down the line looking for Stavrou, who beat two. He took a nice mark. It's Stavrou. He wastes no time. Not such a good kick, though, up the line, and Sam Cameron cut it out. And again, he goes with the 45 kick, and again, he finds the target. This time, it was Ferguson who spears a kick up the line. He was looking for Gill. Away, out of play, boundary throw in, centre wing, far side of the ground.
Anybody know where Tom Ferguson plays in the VFL? I think he's under me here. I might have.
I think he's under me.
You're a bad influence.
We've come to
Well, I've done it in 14 minutes. You're already picking up my tricks.
We're horseshoeing our club allegiances in here, are we? Good grief.
Tigers, of course, and their VFL boys have gotten a good run this year because of all the injuries they've had in the AFL team. Throw in centre wing outer side. Fisher muscles the handball out to Hanson, who then got it along to Lane. Lane kicked it up to half forward. Difficult one there for Angus Hartz, who didn't touch it. He was sure he did. Umpire said it's out by Lasso.
Must have come off his shin.
Right, they said it come off the shin of Hart. Yeah, so the Xavs take over. At right half forward, short kick into the 50. Seston hurdling the fence. Oh, an exceptional show of athleticism there. And the most important thing was he did take the mark in the field of play. And Seston, who's really given them a lead-up target in the early minutes of this game.
Well, he has to. I mean, Charlie McIsaac generally plays a lone hand down there. A lot of support aside from Ed Delaney, so they have to find other avenues to goal.
One season on the list at Melbourne, didn't get a crack. Sends it on a path to goal from the extremities of the right half-forward flank. Scrapes in for a minus score. 6 goals, 10 now on the season for Ollie Seston. 1-1-7 the Xavs. 1 straight 6 St Kevin's on the first quarter scoreboard for Salter Brothers.
Halfway through the term now. Taking the kick in here for St Kevin's is Andrew Matheson. And the left boot goes up towards the back flank and he finds a teammate, Aaron Gunson, who gives it now to Dillamitru. But it's a good overlap run. Down the line wasn't great, but it's worked out here for St Kevin's. They'll get an opportunity to go inside 50. Kerr's got a bit of separation from Whitehead, and he was all he needed, and he takes the mark just inside the paint of 50. But Doug Kerr is a booming kick and will back himself to get the journey from here.
Once again, did you notice St Kevin's putting speed on the ball the whole way up the ground? I can see their format, what they want to do today. They want to try and push the Xavs and make them work hard back the other way when they haven't got the ball. Now, Doug Kerr, he's a very long kick. So distance shouldn't be an issue for him.
We've seen Breeze might have carried a kick coming out of defence for Xavs a little earlier, but we'll see how he goes here. 19-9 in his 6 games he's kicked for St Kevin's this season. He strikes this one from 50. It's gone well across the face.
Yeah. Told you distance wouldn't be a problem.
No.
Accuracy.
Yeah, well, we didn't say he would definitely kick it. Taken by Woodhouse in the defensive goal square, and he's just happy to conduct a bit of a switch here. Xavs making their way up towards the wing. Guy, and he marks. And he lands like a cat, and he keeps going. Deep towards full forward. Someone out the back. Ollie Seston clear on the goal now. He's just got to gather it. And he does. And he goes. Proving a handful up forward for the Xavs in this opening term, Ollie Seston. And now he's got his goal. He's 7th of the season. The Xavs building a bit of a buffer now. A 7-point lead for them. 2-1-13 to 1 straight 6. Gone coast to coast here, have the Xavs, and that is on the Salter Brothers scoreboard. We have nearly gone 17 minutes in this opening term.
St Kevin's did put no pressure at all on that ball that came in from Doug Kerr. Fair enough, it was a missed kick, but Xavs just took that unattended and then released and just coast to coast stuff. So there wasn't enough pressure from the St Kevin's forwards then to keep that ball in, keep it alive. Just let Xavs run away with it. You just can't do that.
They've had 2 very gettable shots already, St Kevin's, and both of them went out of bounds on the full. Coming into the round, the SKOBers, the least accurate team in the A grade. The old Xavs, the most accurate. We're seeing it on show already. There's one hell of a scrap for the footy in the middle from the restart. Hanson, Fisher trying to step his way through. Now it's kicked forward by Westcott for the Xavs. Mackay-Zaki's there. He's grappling with Phillips. He had to make the spoil. Wanganeen goes in with his head over the football, went without it. Delaney trying to get the handball out to Ganji. Just went behind him, so Ganji going away from goal. Handball out of the offensive 50. High kick from Connor Dunn. Tumbles it to the goal square. All sorts of pushing and shoving going on. And a free kick going the way of Angus Hartz on the last line of defence for St Kevin's.
Just making sure Charlie Nott is where he's supposed to be on the mark. Is Angus Hart. Oh, and he gives him a bit of a sidestep too and goes with a short kick to Dillamitru just inside the field of play. He gives it back to Angus Hart. Overlap run from the centre half back. Kick up the lines, come off hands. The target there for St Kevin's. Couldn't quite reel it in, and Xavs will get a deep entry once again inside 50. A good mark from Sam Cameron. I don't know how he managed to pluck that to the pack, but he did. Wasting no time, out towards the back flank. Hansen with the spoil, roved here by Lane, gives it across to Fisher. A bit of a fumble, time enough to recover and go with the kick around the body. Goss, he gets hands free again. Stavro looked to follow up, he's caught, and a good tackle though by Cooper. Umpire is looking for a halt to the play, and we'll restart at half forward here for the Xavs, who lead by 7 points on the Salter Brothers scoreboard. Cooper. You turn to the right, and it was Arnie who had the football. He's been penalised for holding the ball. And it'll be Sam Fisher's free kick from just inside 50, but on a pretty tight angle.
It's a good little passage of play here by Xavs. They intercepted a couple of St Kevin's exits, purely because St Kevin's got bold plays in their back half, so not many options up the field. And now they've got this shot on goal through an opportunistic free kick.
A welcome return. He's been to the side. Missed the start of the season, of course, Sam Fisher. He's kicked 8 goals, 3. This is his 10th game of the campaign. Strike this one from the paint of 50. Looks beautiful off the boots. What a kick from Fisher. And the Xavs have 3. 3-1-19 plays 1 straight 6 on the Salter Brothers scoreboard. Approaching time on here in this opening term, and they've just started to gain a bit of control of this game of the hosts.
They have. St Kevin's have definitely had their opportunities, so they needed to make the most of those, whereas the Xavs have really capitalised with everything moving forward. So they've got a nice little bit of momentum at the moment, so I'll be curious to see if St Kevin's can put pay to that and maintain a bit of forward half footy.
I mentioned earlier he was a little bit down on his output last week, Sam Fisher. He's averaged 29 touches a game this year, just 23 last week at 2 clearances. They're good numbers for most players, but for Fisher, just a little bit down. Hansen goes out of mid-air and got it up to half forward for Woodhouse. Kick inside 50 for the Xavs. Mackay-Zak and Edwards. Those 2 players blow up one another. And they're back into the 50 for Westcott to stick a tackle and a ball up about 46 metres out from the Xavs goal. Doing the attacking again, leading by 13 points into time on in this first quarter for Salter Brothers. Rucks allowed the footy to bounce. Marnie edged a little kick forward of the play, taken by Goss in the centre square. It's a high kick. Angus Hart the only one there, and just watched it come into his breadbasket. Like a wide receiver playing as the kick returner in the gridiron. Didn't need to wait for the fair catch on that occasion. Hart likes to use the outer side. Kicks towards the contest. Cameron and Brosnahan brought to ground. Hodges was there. Gunson goes for a run up the wing and then delivered up to half forward, but the mark taken in front by Whitehead, who tried to take on the world, and he couldn't even take on the one individual there. In Cameron, he got the handball away. Bromhead, long kick inside 50. The Scobbers fall forward, slipped over. That was Gill. Good recovery to make the spoil. The Dunn brothers are there to work with one another. And a kick from Connor across the defensive goal mouth for Ganji in the left back pockets.
He's got to wait for options to arrive for him. Ganji goes down the line to a one-on-one. Bit of holding going on there. Umpire happy to let it play on. Kick up the line now. Delaney got it on the bounce in front of Hart. He gives the hand pass back. Kick up the line again towards the flank right. Bounce past Dillamitru and Nott. Up towards centre half back now. Gathered by Phillips. He got the hands free. Gunson across to Rogers. There's Brent's boy. Going to kick up the line. That's not a very good one. Westcott. Oh, he slipped. Was he taken high? Umpire said play on. Here's Rogers again. Oh, neat little fake. Steering kick up the line. Comes off hands. Dolman was there. Hodges roved it. And now Dolman's going to follow up again here. Goes down the line. Marnie once again. Been real busy in this opening term. Wasting no time in towards the pocket. Kerr was the target inside 50. He gets over the back. Matheson is there. Can he gather it cleanly? He can't. He's on hands and knees. He turns tackler now. And he locks up Connor Dunn. And the umpire crosses his arms and says, I want to toss this one up, gents.
Good passenger play by St Kevin's there to keep that ball moving forward with some interesting execution.
Lane gathered it, swung around the body, the kick's gone high, not sure if the mark will be paid, come off hands anyway. Lane follows up, hand pass forward to Woodhouse, who's got space now to turn. His kick is no good, and a good slips catch by Hart. His hands have been good early, marks this one centre wing, broadcast side. And then drives this up towards centre half forward, and there's a whistle, a hold, and it was going to go the way, always the way of the Xavs. On the arm, their free kick to Tom Hart.
Of course, we've got a Hearts on both sides of the equation here. Tom, it is for the Xavs, who kicks to the outer side. Seston got the better of his direct opponent and works his kick into the midfield position. Charlie Knott set himself, took the mark. The Xavs build promisingly through the middle. Knott doesn't have a lot of red and black to kick to in the attacking 50. Feigned to give the handball and then kicks casually out to Woodhouse, who got to the ball drop and couldn't hold on. Darmody back in the back line for the Scobbers to lend a hand. He got tripped. And thus a free kick, as Hugo says.
Yeah, I don't like those free kicks. I really disagree with them. That was unfortunate. He fell over the top of him. Anyway, the umpire's always right.
Darmody doesn't care. He takes his kick at left half back for St Kevin's. They're 1 straight 6, trailing the Xavs 3-1-19 towards the outer side again. The Flyers all eliminate one another. Connor Dunn there to get the handball back to Whitehead. Lugs his kick in towards the midfield position. Ganji marks just backward to the centre circles. He's pretty keen to keep the momentum going forward. It's a Scheisenhausen kick. It goes out near the boundary. It won't quite reach it. Tom Dunn taken in a good tackle by Dolman, and the umpire will come over and call it a draw. And he'll ball it up right down below us.
Yeah, both sides would probably take that with poor execution and then failing to exit. So, anyway.
Coates arrives real late, but it actually worked to his advantage because he was able to palm it down to Rogers, who gives it and gets it back from Pfeiffer. Up towards half forward. It's a one-on-one contest here, but it's a great mark from Jack Whitehead. He's just a bit too strong for Ollie Gill initially, but still read it brilliantly off the boot. And pass to Goss, and now kicks to Spralia, who marks it half back. To give the hand pass initially, he does now to Goss. He's one way than the other, struggling to get around Jones, so Tip goes with a kick towards centre half back to Fenley. And he looks to switch the play, and there's going to be a free kick for a push in the back, so it'll be a Xavs ball here on the wing.
It's a few ticky-tack ones being pulled out here.
Yeah, there is. But anyway, both sides are feeling the effects of that. Now, the ball ran away then, so this has been really good for the Xavs because they had nothing forward of the ball in that situation. So while it's taken time to get back there to Charlie Knott, they've got players forward of the ball, which they have struggled with at some stages.
He's got on the wing now, there's Charlie Knott. Sets it up towards half forward. Big body sprawl there all the way from Billy Coates. He missed the ball, but he cleaned up everyone in the process. It's trickled out of play for a boundary throw in.
He knew that one was coming to the Isaac, so he just set up in front of it.
Tossed in here in front of the scoreboard at Toorak Park on the half-forward flank for the Xavs, which reads 3-1-19 to St Kevin's 1 straight 6. 26 gone in this opening term, thanks to the Salter brothers. Stavrou grabbed it out of the contest. It was a good tackle from Hart. Didn't get rid of the football. The umpire waved play on. Ferguson with a kick around the body and a good mark from Hodges in front. Looked like he'd been nudged under the football, but good strength to maintain position. Kick up the line's not so good, though. Fenley just about got away from the clutches of Gill. He sends this one back inside 50 for the Xavs, ill-directed. Hart got hands to it. Couldn't complete the mark, but he gives it across to Andruski, who drives it up the line towards the wing. Spralia spoiled it, landed with Goss, goes round the body, doesn't go very far. Gunson or Rogers got in the way of him. Chance here again for the Xavs. Stavrou over the top to Knott, gives it back to Stavrou. Tracking the boundary line here, a hand pass forward. I've got no idea who he was looking for there, Stavrou. It's gone out of play and will be a boundary throw it, and probably lucky he didn't get insufficient intent there.
Yeah, geez, communication's the key. Just those two St Kevin players getting in each other's way. Now they're in a 50-50 situation deep in the Xavs forward line, late in the quarter when they could be on an exit at the moment.
They mustn't have been able to train enough this week, the Scobbers.
In the dark.
With the lights, yeah. Well, as the ball goes
during the day, it wouldn't be an issue.
The ball goes back out of bounds, by the way. If they were training with no lights on, then that should have increased their communication and letting one another know where they were.
When you lose one sense, the others get more heightened, but maybe it was their taste rather than their hearing that got heightened, or their sense of smell.
Still here in the right forward pocket for the old Xaverians, and still leading by 13 points. We haven't had a score for quite a while. Delaney and Coates in the ruck. Delaney gets the better of that one. Fisher sharks it, steps in and out of the tackle, goes on the outside of the boot, smothered by Ferguson. Fisher goes a second time, and in go the St Kevin's tacklers, 1, 2, 3, to tie up Fisher in there. It gives it back to the umpire. Got themselves a little bit closer here. They're about 25 metres out from goal, the Xavs, looking for a late one here in this opening quarter, where Scott holding on to the arm there of Saunders. No idea how that come out. Ferguson's handball, a shocker. Charlie Knott swoops and goals. And it just felt, Hugo, like that was coming.
Yep. Absolutely it was. There was overuse of the ball, failing to exit. No one wanted to take the initiative and get the ball moving forward and away from that defensive area. And it was just waiting for that mistake to occur. And Charlie Knott was looping around the back and was able to swoop on that, and a relatively easy shot on goal in the end. So really disappointing for St Kevin's. I know Anthony Lynch, we're lucky we don't have the mic here at quarter time. He'll be very animated.
18th goal of the season for Charlie Knott, runner-up in the best and fairest last year, tied with Alex Tregar, who also had a milestone today, played his 100th game for the Xavs in the Rezzies earlier.
He won't be too far away from coming back. Tregar. Spralia again. Tackle from Hanson on Mansfield. And he's a bit slow to get up here, has been Mansfield. He's being helped to his feet now by his teammates. It looks like a rough spot to get driven into in that centre of Toorak Park there. Coates again. Stavrou got clear of the stoppage. Gives the hand pass across to Ganji. Got to gather it on the bounce. He's been well corralled by Dillamitru. He has the flying shot at goal. It's now, will the score count? No, it won't. Look here, no score is the final call by the umpire, and that brings it into a good first term here from the Xavs. 4-1-25 to 1 straight 6 on the Salter Brothers scoreboard. Hugo Higginbotham, your brief thoughts before we take a break here.
St Kevin's left some goals on the table out there, which would be very disappointing, and Xavs took every opportunity they had. Probably only slightly in front Xavs in the forward entries, but geez, they've capitalised and started with a bang. So St Kevin's with a little bit of work in front of them.
The goal scorers to this point, all singles for across the board. Charlie McIsaac, Ollie Seston, Sam Fisher and Charlie Knott for the Xavs. And for St Kevin's, Will Cooper, the lone goal scorer, their 16th match and their 12th time this season. St Kevin's have trailed at quarter time in the stats as per Brent Sternberg in the pre-game. Quarter time here at Toorak Park. This is VAFA William Buck Premier Men's Round. 16 footy on SEN's Match of the Day. It's the old Xaverians who lead St Kevin's by 19 points.
Listen to the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day this Saturday afternoon on the SEN app and SEN's no-delay streaming product, SEN Stadium. That's VAFA Footy, live with no delay, Saturday from 1:45 p.m. Listen via the app.
Footy finals are almost here, and there's no better way to kick them off than at the 2026 William Buck VAFA Finals Luncheon. Join MC Nat Edwards, AFL legends and Brownlow medalists James Hurd and Jimmy Bartel, plus Jason Bennett and the VAFA media team for a live For the Love of the Game finals preview. Friday, September 4th at the RACV City Club. Enjoy a premium 2-course lunch, beverage package and an unforgettable afternoon of football stories and finals insights. Book your tickets now at vafa.com.au. Don't miss out on one of the biggest events on the VAFA calendar.
Hey guys, at GYG we never compromise on the quality of our food. That's why we only serve 100% free-range chicken. We're on a mission to reinvent fast food, because who said fast food had to be bad food? Love ya.
The VAFA Rising Star Award recognises the competition's most talented young players. Each week, the VAFA Rising Star Committee receives nominations for one male and one female player aged 20 years or under who played no more than 7 senior games before this season. Our overall season winners will be declared the VAFA Rising Stars for 2026. So if your club has a young gun making their mark, nominate them now at media@vafa.com.au.
Stay up to date with all the latest from the Victorian Amateur Football Association with the brand new VAFA app. Stay connected with live scores, fixtures, stats and news from across the Victorian Amateur Football Association right at your fingertips. Download the VAFA app today from the App Store or Google Play and never miss a moment.
Keep up to date with everything that's happening around the VAFA by subscribing to our socials. We're on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook and LinkedIn. Has someone just taken a screamer or kicked goal of the year? Send us your best and we might share them around the league. Join in the fun with all the best pics, videos, stories and reels from around the competition. They're all on VAFA socials. Search VAFA and VAFA Women's on your favourite platforms.
Listen to the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day this Saturday afternoon on the SEN app and SEN's no-delay streaming product, SEN Stadium. That's VAFA Footy, live with no delay, Saturday from 1:45pm. Listen via the app.
Quarter time here at Toorak Park. You are listening to VAFA William Buck Premier Men's Round 16 footy on SEN's Match of the Day. It is Old Xaverians and St Kevin's doing battle this afternoon. Second v third on the ladder. And at quarter time, it is the Xavs who lead 4-1-25 to 1 straight 6. Brent Sternberg, Hugo Higginbotham Cooper Watkins alongside myself, Matthew Donald. Hugo will go around the grounds from Marshall White, selling prestige homes for more than 50 years. What have you got so far?
Thanks, Matty. So at Brighton Beach Oval, Old Brighton 4-5-29 lead Old Haileybury 3-3-21. No score at Uni Main Oval at the minute. Someone hasn't pressed the button there. At Glen Huntly Park, Caulfield 5 straight 30, trailing Old Scotch 5-2-32. And Old Trinity 2-3-15, trailing Uni Blacks 4-1-25. So interesting numbers around the comp there, Matty.
And Prem B, Harry Trott Oval, Collegian 7-3-45. Williamstown have not scored.
Ouch.
So that's Collegians looking to make it 16 on the bounce there, and it's not going to do Williamstown's relegation hopes much good at all. Old Camberwell with a 6-point lead over Ajax, 5-2-32 to 4-2-26. Old Melburnians leading Old Ivanhoe 3-3-21 to 1-5-11. De La Salle by 4 points over Beau Moritz, 4-2-26 to 3-4-22. And Old Geelong 5-1-31 over Old Kerry, 2-4-16 at the moment. We've just seen the Xavs have broken away, and St Kevin's doing so now. We're going to cross down to ground level. Cooper Watkins, our boundary rider, is going to check in with Anthony Lynch. He's just having a word with your boy at the moment. Brent is Anthony Lynch Ferguson.
He's very animated there too. So a couple of things he saw, but he puts the arm around the boy, and he's still at him.
Oh yeah, they're having a really long conversation actually. Everyone else is just about in position. He's only just moved away now, and we'll go down to Cooper, who's got Anthony.
Yeah, I've got him now. Plugger, pretty hot start. What do you make of the first quarter? Also, what do you want to see from the boys going forward?
Yeah, I thought it was 10-15 for sure. I just saw 15. I want to see public hits this way, so I also thought our backs were a bit. So if we can tighten those seconds.
Good luck, Plugger.
Thank you for that there, Anthony Lynch and Cooper Watkins. We only caught glimpses of that there, Hugo. From St Kevin's point of view, what do you think they need to do to get back into this contest?
Yeah, he was hoping the backs tighten up a little bit, but they've got to make the most of a few of those entries going forward. They can't leave goals on the table like they did. As we just noticed, I think it was Tommy McRae heading down into the room, so that's not a good sign for the Xavs. They might be one down.
Yeah,
now, this is one of the grounds where unless the gates are shut, the umpires do not proceed.
They are very pedantic about this. Cooper, do you have something on Tom McRae for us?
Sorry, Matty, I can't hear that well, but I'm just going to go with it anyways. Yeah, Tommy McRae done for the day with the hamstring. He ran about 6 kilometres on the boundary line trying to get it working, but his GPS will be off the charts, but yeah, no good in the end.
Thank you, Cooper. Second quarter underway for McCormack Properties Services. They scrounge for the footy. That's a big out for the old Xavs. McRae, terrific last week. Just going back and forth here in the middle. Marnie made sense of it, but then gave it straight to Fisher, who kicks quickly. And the Xavs go to half forward. Not got the better of Saunders. Just created a kick inside 50. Out came Phillips. And handball away to Andriski. The Scobbers going to the left of the dial in this second quarter. Mansfield takes control of the footy on the far side. Got the handball to Dolman, who races across halfway, kicks up to right half forward and waits at it beautifully. Mark taken here by Cameron. In towards the full forward area, and a well-weighted kick, and Kerr. Didn't take a lot of marks inside 50 in that first quarter, St Kevin's, but they've got one here early days, and Kerr has a tight kick away there in the right forward pocket.
No, that was very good play there by the Scobbers, just to get that forward handball, that run down the wing, and an excellent mark at half forward by Cameron, and then Doug Kerr just popping up there, so that's a good format. This would be a good start there. They can get one back, and then if they can win a few of the clearances, they could get themselves right back in this contest.
Mr. Gettable shot in the first quarter. This one he eases through from the tight angle, and the perfect start to the second term for the Scobbers. Doug Kerr kicks there second goal of the day. It's on the McCormack Property Services, and that's exactly how you want to start the second quarter after being outplayed for not the entirety of the first quarter, Hugo, but certainly the last sort of 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was all on the back of just not getting any scoreboard pressure on the Xavs with those early misses and falling short, and then no forward defensive pressure. But it was really good ball use then, getting kicks to advantage and then moving the ball at pace. You can still see that they're endeavouring to move the ball at pace. They've just got to find that balance between moving it fast and not reckless, which had happened at stages in the first quarter.
Good goal for Doug Curry's 20th of the season. And Tom McRae, 30 touches and 7 rebounds last week, so he's in good form, and they'll miss his run as the afternoon progresses. Back in the middle, Mansfield trying to crash through. Oh, money taken strongly by Goss, taken illegally by Goss, a driving tackle, or Hansen rather. Free kick to Marnie in the centre of Toorak Park. And he moves it on quickly, goes up towards half forward. Kerr was edged out of it by Whitehead. Falls here for Pfeiffer. Flying shot at goal is wide. Across the face. And behind there for Pfeiffer. St Kevin's pressing here. 4-1-25 plays 2-1-13. 2.5 gone here in the second term for McCormack Property Services.
Goss with the kick-in duties, and he's happy to go right up the middle. He puts his faith in Hart, who got their second running and chopped the arm of Delamitru. And so it's going to be a free kick to George. Back in the team today and had a terrific first quarter. He sees a very crowded forward 50 up ahead. So he just puts it up towards the hot spot. Flew 2.5 hours too early, and it took the non-controlling umpire to blow the whistle and pay it.
Yeah, I thought he got away with that then too. He tried to the ground and looked around and said, not me. And we have another number change out there. 26 is actually Jones.
Yeah, okay.
So, looks a little bit like Cameron, but Jones was their man.
Very much Mark. Over the shoulder, Westcott. Yep. Now, so the SKOBers going to the left of the dial in their second quarter. That was the end that Cooper said there was a slight breeze favouring, wasn't it, pre-game? Not much, but they've started well here in this first quarter. Kicked the first one. Westcott up the line. It bounces awkwardly in front of Sprowyer. Hansen wrapped up immediately by Matheson. And we come to a grinding halt. Centre wing, broadcast side. I reckon one of the other things that would have frustrated St Kevin's in that first quarter, Hugo, was when they got it inside 50, they weren't able to lock it in there and get repeat entries.
As I said, there was no forward defensive pressure really, so that was a little bit frustrating, but they've started well here. Oh, they've called a lasso on that.
Yeah, Cameron's handball didn't quite get to Gunston. Yeah, went over the boundary line, so Stavrou is going to take the free kick right down below us. No, it's going to be Brosnahan right in front of the Xavs interchange bench.
He's gone missing, Wade Brosnahan, because the bench is obscuring him. He comes back into view now and goes with a kick down the line. Billy Coates in front, knocked away from him. Comes out now to Fisher. His kick around the body up towards half forward, looking for Wanganeen. Good attack on the play there from Phillips. He just got a kick away, although only as far as Charlie Nott, who has the flying shot at goal. Went across the face. I think there were appeals that it might have been touched off the boot in any case, but it is only a behind. 4-2-26 plays 2-1-13, and as we say in this situation, or as Peggy would say, they're not doubling their score, Hugo, but it's close.
It's close, correct. Your old Simon Petchko will be missing. Yeah.
Matheson right up the middle. Couldn't link it up there with his teammate, and the Xavs win the little scrimmage. Goss, great kick and great vision. Knocks it out to the near side. Brosnahan, Xavs back inside 50. McIsaac is going to get the free kick. Just that ball coming in quickly. And the SKOBers defenders there getting very worried about Charlie McIsaac and his aerial capabilities, as you can understand, Hugo.
Yes, definitely. And because it came in so quick there, no SKOB was able to get in front of him, which I've been doing quite well today. So it's just a player like Charlie McIsaac. There's always going to be something like this happen in the excitement machine.
Just away to the right. He'll kick from right on the arc of the 45. That goal in the first quarter, the brilliant snap around the body. Number 53 on the season. Charlie McIsaac, that is a very good effort. Gee, went a long way left there, and in the end didn't make the distance. Had to be helped through for a minus score.
Hugo, for Marshall White around the grounds, I need you to just check the score at University over for me, because make sure my phone's not playing up. Because if it is true, I don't think I've ever seen a scoreline quite like it.
That's what I've got as well. So I've got 0-2, 2 behinds. Oh, that's a late start game, I think, maybe. Was it? No. All right. But it's 0-5, that game.
About 7 minutes into the second quarter.
Correct. That's amazing. We'll have to investigate this, Matthew.
Maybe that's why they didn't put it in the app, because they were too embarrassed.
They'd fallen asleep. Yeah. Lane was tackled as he kicked it. Ball forward by Hanson, then again by Westcott. Comes out now here to Phillips, who was caught. Good pressure this from the Xavs, not with a kick around the body. Doesn't go very far. A tackle there from Phillips, locking things up. That's remarkable.
Yes, I'll just check it on my phone, mate. I check yours just in case I stumble across your browser history.
Let's not go there. Coates front spot, hands it away. Good run being provided at defence here by Matheson, although going the other way. Yeah, winning it back here for St Kevin's, Jed Saunders. The hand pass across. They're going the wrong way here.
They're retreating here. They're giving away
got
ground.
it now, and he doesn't know what to do with it. He's going to go with an old-fashioned switch. This is real dangerous. Oh, what a great slips catch that would have been by Cameron. He's got the wherewithal to bounce back up, though. He's taken in a good tackle by Seston. Ball comes free. Umpire won't play on. Brosnahan's in there. Matheson falls on top of him. And the umpire eventually calls for it. I'll have to settle this one by tossing it up.
For about 8 possessions there, they've got a net gain of -5 minutes. So retreated a long way.
Coates. Rogers, his hand pass just behind Matheson. He's got to go back and get it. He did well, Matheson. Hands to Mansfield. And they're going to go with another loopy switch. Comes off the boot there of Darmody. Falls in now for Edwards. Phillips back to Darmody. On the right boot. This is a needed kick to Dolman, who's got it between wing and half back for St Kevin's. And his kicking ball is a real dangerous one. It's fallen straight to Lane. And they've got men free. Charlie Knott, he's got another one over the top in the pocket. On his own, Ollie Seston marks. 45-degree angle, 20 metres out.
Well, the inside 45 at halfback is one of the greatest kicks you can do in football when it comes off.
When you hit the target.
Well, he hit the target there. It was a wrong colour jumper. And just gave all of those Xavs players a couple of metres space up the ground. Very, very frustrating game sometimes, football.
So Ollie Seston, he's already got one today. 1 goal, 1 in fact. Big opportunity to get the quick reply, and he slips it through to Seston. He's got 2. The Xavs answer. A good spell of pressure from them in the last few minutes, and they've got the goal to show for it. 5-3-33 to 2-1-13, and that is on the McCormick Property Services scoreboard, working across commercial, education, government, industrial and residential sectors. Max can provide a variety of building and fit-out services to occupiers and property owners. SKOB sponsors since 2022, McCormick.
So that was the young guy, Archie Dolman, who made that error with that kick, Hugo.
So
what do you think the instructions will be from the coaches?
Get to him straight away. So you take the next opportunity for an inside 45 when you can. You make sure you take it. Don't go back in your shell. Just execute it.
20-point leaders now, the Xavs. Woodhouse in the ruck, and he becomes a 4th midfielder. With that handball to Knott, Hanson, he went back into trouble. Handball misplaced. Ganji trying to retrieve it. Stavro at centre-half forward. Worked a 3-quarter kick inside the attacking area. Oh, Wanganeen with his head over the foot. He probably had claim for a free kick. It didn't come. Woodhouse, Hanson, Delaney doubling back. Oh, the big guy Sprellier, is it? It's a really nice mark taken at full forward.
No, that's it.
Delaney with the grab, and now a kick for goal at the top of the goal square.
Good work by... Oh, he's going really quick, actually, Ed.
He is. He's not mucking around. 3 steps, bang, a goal, and it's a game-high lead now for the boys in red and black. 26 points the margin.
So as I was going to say before, it was great work by Tex Wanganeen there with that little half kick. It was a nothing kick by Stavro, but he was able to maintain... He didn't lose the contest, so it would have been easy for SKOBs to get that and run it away. And then a really good, strong, brave mark by Delaney coming back with a fly to the ball. So it's all Xavs at the minute.
They're making their move now. That's a couple of quick goals for them. 6-3-39 plays 2-1-13. They've been very good so far in this match. We've just ticked over 10 minutes gone in this second term at Toorak Park. Coates looking for Marnie. Caught by Stavro there in the centre of Toorak Park.
Now going around the ground very quickly, matey. That score is 100% correct. So we're 12 minutes into the second quarter, and the Blues have kicked the first goal of the game. So they're 1-2-8, leading St Bernard's 0-5.
It'll be really tough for James Stewart to kick 10 today. Look, Dolman now, he grabs the football just before the ball trickles over the boundary line. He might kick 10 points. It's going to be a toss back in between wing and half forwards for St Kevin's, who trail by 26 points here at Toorak Park. 11 gone in the second term. Coates is going to have front spot here. He was dispossessed though, and it's fallen now for Guiney. who just belts it up the line towards half forward. He gets over the back, McIsaac. He's got Edwards to contend with. Edwards did well. There gives it to Matheson, who was tackled as he kicked it, and it lands straight into the lap of Ollie Seston as a result, who plays it. He's called to go now by the umpire. He gives the hand pass across, and the flying shot at goal was taken way too casually in the end. So that was Wanganeen. He's gone through for a point. He had a lot of time there.
Well, you'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say there was no communication to him to tell him how much time he did have, but there was a very lackadaisical effort on goal. I'd be getting the runner out to him. Every goal is so important in a game of football with the stakes that are on sale today. So
12-minute mark of the second quarter. Pomac Property Services. Xavs by 27 points. Phillips with a long-range kick from near side to far, and Saunders kicked it into Wanganeen on the mark, and then Saunders took him high. And so they're making a lot of errors here at the moment. Scobbers, Wanganeen. That's a better-looking kick than the last one. Oh, Gunston. Eyes only for the footy, filling the hole bravely. And he's off to the races quickly. Kicks out towards the near side. Jones in position 1A takes the mark. And St Kevin's are up on the broadcast wing. They're 2-1-13, trailing the Xavs 6-4-40. Scobbers inside forward 50. Cooper is there through the hands of Whitehead. Ollie Gill, the handball came his way. He curls it around towards the goal square. It's not going to have enough on it. Stays alive. And then Cooper escorted over the boundary line there by Tom Dunn. And St Kevin's will have a throw in deep in the left forward pockets.
Well, they can be thankful Billy Coates is down there and got a hand on that ball in, because that would have been an easy defensive mark from the Xavs. So there is still a lot of chance St Kevin's here. They need to get some good defensive pressure on the ball. You would think that they'd win the ruck tap here with Billy Coates.
Going off the ball here between the two 24s, Connor Dunn and Ollie Gill. Make their way to this contest now. Coates on the tap down. Goss got a little flick only as far as Gunson, who squeezed and kicked towards goal. It's come off hands. Another boundary throwing this time right up against the behind post for St Kevin's. On the left forward.
Once again, the Xavs defensive players and their mids will be looking to... Oh, so Spraley has come down now. Spraley has come down now, so we've got Spraley and Coates in the ruck. So that's a genuine 50-50. If Spraley is not there, you think Coates wins everyone.
Toddler eventually gets the ball back to the boundary umpire. Restart now. Spraley and Coates. Two of the best rucks of the business going at it here. Coates has front spot again. Got a tap away. Fell on top of the football. Trio of Scobbers applying the tackle there to lock things up.
This is the first time today that St Kevin's have had repeat stoppages inside their attacking zone.
Coates again flicks this one out. Hodges and Goss are there. Hodges couldn't gather it cleanly. Gill going in there again for St Kevin's. Hard falls on top of the football, and then the umpire calls for it once again. It's just at the top of the goal square now for St Kevin's.
Just going from scrimmage to scrimmage. Xavs by 27 points. St Kevin's would love to pinch one back here. Top of the goal square. Spraley threw a haymaker at it and barely made any contact. And then the pack quickly collapses at his feet. In the middle of all of that, Jones. There's a lot going on here.
They want to be careful here, because the umpire will want to clear this. He'll be looking for anything. So one thing that happens with repeat congestion is a free kick will come eventually.
Right forward pocket for the Scobbers. Darmody tried to come slashing through. Couldn't get boot to ball. Jones tackling again for St Kevin's. Hodges trying to wrench it out of there. Umpire has to cross himself and ball it up again.
And what we're noticing, the second ring of players around this stoppage is creeping in. So we're getting more players around the ball.
Middle stages of the second quarter, Xavs in control. Ball goes up and down and then eventually was cleared by Guiney. Out of the defensive 50 area, Seston knocks it on its way. Andruski knocked it the way of Saunders. Quickly away to Matheson. Hooks it around inside 50 and Dolman in the right spot, right in the middle of the 50, takes the mark, and here's the young man's moment to make amends for the error that led to a goal only a few minutes ago.
No, absolutely. He read that ball coming in perfectly. As soon as I saw it was Archie Dolman there, a smile went onto my face, because exactly as you articulated so perfectly there, Brent, he's just got to focus on this now.
It's his fifth game of the season in the seniors. He's playing footy in the VFL for St Kilda. Just making sure that the umpire's got the mark in the right spot. Scobbers need a goal. Right in front. Archie Dolman. Archie Dolman. And it's on! He goes straight to Brosnahan, who are quickly joined by everybody else, and there's a Barney.
Yes, absolutely there is. And I think we've got sufficient numbers for a melee here, so there's a few bucks going out of the pocket there, but it was always going to happen in something like this. There's a lot of feeling between these two clubs, a lot of respect, of course, but just takes one little spark. But that's good. St Kevin's need to build off this at the moment. They need to maintain some momentum and get a few more back.
And it's a good little win there for the SKOBers, because so many of their entries, nearly every last one of them in that first quarter, the Xavs just walked it out of there. On that occasion, they were able to keep it in there for a couple of minutes, and eventually the toiling pays off and they get a goal. Absolutely.
Well, we got the clearance there. I thought we were watching Uni Blues at St Bernard's for a moment. Gunson with a strong tackle back in the centre of the ground. Good tackle on Fisher. An important goal for St Kevin's, gents, as you quite rightly mentioned. To 21 points here. The game was getting away from them. Just stem the bleeding for a bit here. Spralia, though, grabs the clearance, goes up towards half forward. Good use of the body there by Ethan Phillips. Got rid of his man and marked it, centre half back. The kick to Gunson on the back flank. To Phillips. Hoping to just chip it around a bit here, St Kevin's. Waiting for the right option. To Andriski. 6-4-40 plays 3-1, 19, 17.5 gone in the second term for McCormack Property Services. Second v third coming into today. Andriski kicked down the line. Guiney was there. Came off hands. He followed up well, though, Guiney. Couldn't get the disposal away, and that's going to be a free kick to Fisher, who's taken high by Matheson. Yep. And he might be within range here, Fisher.
He certainly thinks he is.
He's taking his time getting back to the top of his mark. He's going to wind up here and fly from well outside 50.
Just on those possessions of foresight by St Kevin's, they were retreating ground, which is fine, but you don't want your last option to be that long kick up the line, because exactly this happens.
So he changes his mind about going for goal. Fisher instead he's going to hit up the lead. Oh, beautiful tap from Notaganji. Oh, that is so slick. I'm not sure if he meant it, but it looked beautiful in motion. Julian Ganji with an easy finish in the end. That is just such clever play from the Xavs forwards. And a quick answer once again from the hosts. 7-4-46, a 3-1-19. Potential for team goal today for Gorman Commercial here.
Yes, it was very good there. But once again, Sam Fisher tricked the St Kevin's defenders into thinking he was having that shot on goal, so they all went into, we're going to see the ball sail up and we might punch it mode. Whereas Xavs stayed in the game there and were able to kick that goal relatively easily.
That's one that would really frustrate Plugger and the coaches at St Kevin's. So the game high 27-point lead re-established. Xavs still in control here as they'll have another free kick go their way.
I reckon the other 6 goals they'd kick would frustrate Plugger as well.
Westcott pushed in the back, so he takes the free kick, puts it out to the advantage there of Mackayzak, but the spoil was made by Andriski. Mansfield crumbs it underneath, kicks back in towards the middle of the ground. As Cooper come back to lend a hand. Shows the kick in towards the midfield position. Edwards, can they get some run and carry here, the SKOBers? Mansfield, it's a high and long kick inside 50. Marnie with the early body use, then dropped the mark, then got taken high, no whistle for any damn thing. And Guiney lays the awkward looking tackle. The SKOBers are back up into the attacking zone. 7-4-46 the Xavs. SKOBers 3-1-19, second quarter for McCormack Property Services. Xavs get a little kick there from the scrimmage. Westcott's grappling with his fellow man, as Jack Dyer would say. Give him handballs here. Westcott, Stavro, Woodhouse, got to get boot to ball quickly. He did. It dribbles up near half forward. Edwards just let the ball get behind. Seston is there. He's able to gather it. Sidestepped Matheson. Caresses the kick in towards centre half forward. Unable to gather it down low there was Tom Dunn, and now he's got contention with 3 SKOBers there at midfield position. Now Pye's going to knock off the Xavs player. The one Xavs player in there holding the ball. And St Kevin's will get up to take the kick at half-back.
It's a tough one when you've got 5 players laying on you. You can't be seen to be trying to get the ball out, but that is the rule. So you just need some support there.
Hodges has got to go, and off a standing start, he dinks a little one over the top to Edwards. He might have been in a bit of trouble there for a second. Edwards with a kick down the line to Gill. It was a good spoiler coming the other way from Dunn, who went and crashed in. A high wave play on. Xavs have won the ball back. Here's Dunn. Oh, he did nicely to get away from Delamitra there. Kick up the line. Good spoil that time. Seeing it out of play. Bromhead did nicely. 1-on-1. It's gone out of play for a boundary throw in. ticked into time on now in this second term, and it's a 27-point lead once again for the Xavs after leading by 19 at quarter time. The McCormick Property Services scoreboard. Spralia taking turn in the ruck this time against Cooper. No coats. He's having a bit of a spell. Stavrou spun into traffic nicely. Now back to Campbell Lane, who goes around the body up towards our forward. Oh, huge fly from Wanganeen. I don't know if he actually got anywhere near him in the end, but it's fallen now for Cameron down the line, and a well-read mark there by Tom Dunn, who marks on the wing.
This is a dangerous time for St Kevin's. That margin slipping away from what it was at quarter time. They need to get a couple back before half-time.
To the half-forward line, no one able to bring down the Sherrans, so it's there at ground level. Bromhead goes over it, but just lost the footy there. Stavros trying to wrench it out. It's right on the arc at left half forward for the Xavs. Umpire blows the whistle and tells them to stop fighting for it and set up from the stoppage. 3-2 in this second quarter in favour of the Xavs. Spralia out of the ruck, tried to get it onto his boot, turned it over, quickly cleared by Gunson, but again, they can't get past Tom Dunn here at the moment, the Scobbers. It's Dunn, moves it on to Fennelly, centre wing out of sight. Xavs in control, poor kick though from Fennelly. Darmody spoiled it, went straight back to Jumpin' Jed Fennelly, who moved it on to Lane. And now Stavro at left half forward, kick short. Woodhouse juggling, eventually got hold of it. Left foot kick to full forward, Seston one out, got it. Scobbers defence all at sea. That Seston at the top of the goal square will surely kick his third goal of the afternoon.
No, that was, very, very good body positioning there by Seston, just to maintain that aggressive position on the ball, and probably poor defending by the St Kevin's defender.
Right in front, Ollie Seston, got it. He's got 3, and just when we thought St Kevin's might be turning the wheel of momentum, it swung the other way. And Seston, he's tried and noted goal kicker. He come from the country. I remember when he was playing footy in his draft year for his country footy team, who just slips my mind. He kicked 30-something goals in a game one day. In the seniors, by the way. In a game? Yes, in one game. 8-4-52. That's the Xavs, and the St Kevin's side 3-1-19.
A lot of kicks, a lot of shots on. This is danger time for St Kevin's. They don't want this margin to slip away. They need to get one back now.
Spralia got the second hit out, punched it forward looking for Westcott, gathered here by Marnie, had a bit of a fumble, and he couldn't get a quick kick away. Tackle applied there by Tom Dunn, who's got things up. And 24 gone in this second term thanks to McCormick Property Services. 8-4-52, plays 3-1-19. It's been a good first half here from the Xavs. Gunson high up towards half forward, but a well-judged mark by Tom Hart. Across to Goss, wasting no time. Kick up the line, comes off hands, trickles towards the boundary line. Charlie not looking for a free kick. His arms are caught entangled there.
There it is.
Gone out of play.
24-minute mark in the second quarter, and we've got the first knock reference in there. Matty, you picked up on that one. That's a good one.
I'm glad you did. I knew you would.
Yeah, I never miss them.
No. All across there. All right, in front of the interchange gates here. Coates front spot once more. He's done that a lot today, although Spralia did well to actually win the hit out of the end. Great hands from Fisher Delane. Spearing kick up the line towards Delaney. Too far out to score. Looks to hit up Seston on the lead again. It's gone over his head. It's still alive here for Ganji. Gets away from his man. Snaps towards goal, and he puts through another one. Ganji with his second of the term. And the Xavs on fire here at Toorak Park. 9-4-58, plays 3-1-19. They are running away with this one, Hugo.
They are. They've got a lot of time and space around these contests, so the clearance numbers would be very concerning for St Kevin's, and time in forward half would also be very concerning. And another concerning thing, Matty, is they've had 4 shots on goal to 13 for the Xavs. So that's indicative of the way the game's gone at the minute.
They're playing about 3 times better at the moment. 3 times as many scores.
Yes, you had Petchy confused with that one. Yeah, they've nearly doubled their score, as he says.
Okay, alarm bells ringing for the Scobbers as we head for half-time. They win another centre clearance here, the old Xavs. McIsaac's little handball, Wanganeen outside of the boot. It's just going to drop short of Seston. Picks it up in the pocket, slipped over, and then Phillips almost took his head off, but the ball was out of play. They cannot concede again here, the Scobbers. They've just got to do whatever they can to hold on.
Concerning, that was off the back of another clearance.
Yeah. Well, they only had 29 clearances in the game against the Blacks last week, the Xavs. That was their fewest in a game.
The Xavs?
This season it was, yeah, for the red and black. Outside the 50 it comes. Ganji again, he's having a purple patch. Wobbles at the fall forward. McIsaac back with the flight this time. Couldn't quite find the ball drop, and then the SKOB's defenders able to conspire and see it through for a minor score.
Just under siege down there at the moment. St Kevin's defenders, they need to get a little bit of retained possession and get it away from their defensive half. Give them a bit of a reprieve.
Kind of feels like a good midfield up against a great midfield at the moment, Hugo. Saunders, his kick is cut out lane. He had a chance to really swoop in. He had a bit of a fumble, though. Mansfield goes sliding in. The umpire calls for it, because it's not bad midfield that St Kevin's have got, but Old Xavs probably got one of the best in the business.
I was going to say, they'd be in the top 2 in the competition, I would imagine. You go a long way to try and find a better one.
Another ruck contesting that time. Hansen got the hands free. Campbell Lane in space. Goes with the outside of the boot. It's high. Won't have the distance. Knocked away here. St Kevin's. Dillamitru gets a quick kick away on. Lands fortuitously there in the lap of Bromhead. He gives the hand pass across, and they'll get a bit of respite here. But it's only temporary, because the kick up the line is no good. It lands straight into the lap of Dunn. And he's just going to drive this one back up towards half forward. McIsaac in front. Good spoil though from Andriski. It's only fallen as far as Not here, who goes around the body looking for Lane again, who's marked. He's just a bit too far out to score here, Campbell Lane. Long-range goals this ground in recent weeks, but not from this distance. Instead, he's going to set it into the pocket, looking for Delaney. Got hands to it. McIsaac was in there. Has he kept that alive? No, he was not.
And Drisky's actually kept McIsaac pretty well in check for most of this first half. It's just been everybody else.
I was just counting up, though, but they've had 6 goal kickers. Charles McIsaac being one, and Drisky's done a fantastic job on him, considering the amount of entries, and every entry generally comes in McIsaac's direction, but the spread of goal kickers is concerning for St Kevin's.
5 of the last 6 they have kicked. The Xavs, they're deep in attack again. 40 points the margin. They all jump on the loose Sharon Fisher underneath the pack.
I would think time in forward half for Xavs would be 75%, and that's probably conservative for this quarter.
Delaney doing the ruck work in the forward 50, knocked it straight down to Marnie, clears the defensive 50, bounces up to the wing. Darmody and Connor Dunn. Darmody trying desperately to keep it in or touch it. He thought he did.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. He'd had to go harder at that. It's just you're giving away possession. Yet another turnover just inside their defensive half.
It's by the old lasso as Hart comes back to Whitehead, who's got it right at half back for the Xavs. And then to Goss in the defensive 50. Every player on the ground in front of him. Goss scanning. He's going to come in with a middle distance kick here to Stavro. The Xavs champion turns and kicks his side in towards midfield. Hansen couldn't mark Hodges. Late chance here for the SKOBs to pull one back. They're queuing up inside 50. And Marnie put it on the chest. I think this is Bromhead who's worked hard to get on the end of the kick inside the attacking 50 area. It is. Does he go for goal here? Tom Bromhead, he will. He gets the encouragement from Cameron. He's shaping up to go around the corner.
What are you doing, Teddy?
At the 29.5 minute mark of the second quarter, they really need a goal here, St Kevin's. It's a shocker from Bromhead. There's a time and a place, man.
That defines this quarter of football for St Kevin's. Why he wouldn't have gone back, he's 40 metres out and kick a drop punt.
Hart took the mark on the last line. He got it to Goss. Goss comes out to Fenway. Absolute pudding. And then the ball goes out of bounds to be thrown in at left half forward for St Kevin's. So the score the same. 9-5, the old Xaverians. St Kevin's 3-1.
Just had a look at Anthony Lynch's reaction on the bench. He's doing very well to keep it together at the moment, because that snap around the body, time and place is spot on, Brent. Still a chance here for St Kevin's, though, as the ball's tossed in at half forward. Marnie, who hands to it, as did Gunson's, took it out of playoff hand, to throw in front of the old Xavs interchange bench.
So he's another one of the young guys in this team. Hasn't played a lot of senior footy, but that, I don't think that's a lack of experience there. It's just really poor decision. That might fly in the Resies or the under-19s, but not in a big senior game like this.
Bromhead to Gunson. Kick inside 50 was touched off the boot, so the umpire waves play on Darmody. He did really well. Burst to a tackle to Saunders. His hand pass didn't quite find Dolman. He went to play the tackle, but the Xavs have done well to work these out of the defensive 50. Under a lot of pressure, though. Now Woodhouse is caught. And there is the siren to bring to an end the dominant first half from the Xavs. They've got a 40-point advantage in their back pocket at half-time. 9-5-59 plays 3-1-19 on the McCormick Property Services scoreboard. 5 goals to 2 for the Terp, after leading by 19 points at quarter time. Brent Sternberg, Hugo Higginbotham Cooper Watkins alongside myself, Matthew Donald. Hugo, before we take a break for half-time, your thoughts?
Yeah, that was a very, very dominant performance by Xavs, and made the most of their opportunities. There was some very poor decision-making by some Kevin players there. Gave away a lot of ground, and then gone to the last result of kicking one up the line. Was just playing into the Xavs' hands. The Xavs are one of the best score from turnover sides, in the competition, and that was on display there. Every one of those goals was kicked virtually from an attack from half back. So a little bit of work to do for some Kevins, but there is another half of footy, and if anyone can do it, it's most likely them.
They've got the firepower, there's no doubt about that. The goal kickers to this point, Xavs, 3 2 for Julian Ganji. Singles to Charlie McIsaac, Charlie Knott, Ed Delaney, Sam Fisher. Some Kevin's all individual goal kickers to this point. Will Cooper, Arthur Gold, and Doug Kerr. This has been VAFA William Buck Premier Men's round 16:40 on SEN's match of the day. Got to mention as well, quarter time, gents, the chat that Cooper Watkins had with Anthony Lynch was thanks to Wagstaff, Australian-owned and operated family business that has supplied quality meats both here and abroad since 1908. Wagstaff.com.au. Half-time here at Toorak Park. It is the Xavs who lead by 40 points over St Kevin's. The half-time show coming up right after this.
Listen to the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day this Saturday afternoon on the SEN app and SEN's no-delay streaming product, SEN Stadium. That's VAFA Footy, live with no delay, Saturday from 1:45pm. Listen via the app.
Footy finals are almost here, and there's no better way to kick them off than at the 2026 William Buck VAFA Finals Luncheon. Join MC Nat Edwards, AFL legends and Brownlow medalists James Hird and Jimmy Bartel, plus Jason Bennett and the VAFA media team for a live For the Love of the Game finals preview. Friday, September 4th at the RACV City Club. Enjoy a premium 2-course lunch, beverage package and an unforgettable afternoon of football stories and finals insights. Book your tickets now at VAFA.com.au. Don't miss out on one of the biggest events on the VAFA calendar.
Hey guys, at GYG we never compromise on the quality of our food. That's why we only serve 100% free-range chicken. We're on a mission to reinvent fast food, because who said fast food had to be bad food? Love ya.
The VAFA Rising Star Award recognises the competition's most talented young players. Each week, the VAFA Rising Star Committee receives nominations for one male and one female player aged 20 years or under who played no more than 7 senior games before this season. Our overall season winners will be declared the VAFA Rising Stars for 2026. So if your club has a young gun making their mark, nominate them now at media@vafa.com.au.
Stay up to date with all the latest from the Victorian Amateur Football Association with the brand new VAFA app. Stay connected with live scores, fixtures, stats and news from across the Victorian Amateur Football Association right at your fingertips. Download the VAFA app today from the App Store or Google Play and never miss a moment.
Keep up to date with everything that's happening around the VAFA by subscribing to our socials. We're on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook and LinkedIn. Has someone just taken a screamer or kicked goal of the year? Send us your best and we might share them around the league. Join in the fun with all the best pics, videos, stories and reels from around the competition. They're all on VAFA socials. Search VAFA and VAFA Women's on your favourite platforms.
Listen to the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day this Saturday afternoon on the SEN app and SEN's no-delay streaming product, SEN Stadium. That's VAFA Footy, live with no delay, Saturday from 1:45pm. Listen via the app.
Welcome back to VAFA William Buck Premier Men's Match of the Day action here on VAFA.com.au and the SEN app. It is half-time here at Toorak Park. Old Xaverians and St Kevin's, 2nd v 3rd on the ladder coming into today, and it is the Xavs who lead by 40 points at the half. 9-5-59 plays 3-1-19. Your commentary quartet, Brent Sternberg, Hugo Higginbotham, Cooper Watkins and Matthew Donald here with you this afternoon. This is the halftime show thanks to Bell Property. Under the directorship of Steve Burke, the highly experienced Bell Property team bring exemplary service to all property dealings with a tailored approach featuring top-class strategy and negotiation. We have a lot to unpack, Hugo, in the first half around the grounds and some of the best bits about this first half, but we've got a couple of very special guests with us here. The presidents of the respective clubs, Michael Logan of Old Xaverians and Paddy Mantis and Kevin's. Gents, welcome to you both.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
I suspect only one of you is happy to indulge in conversation about the game so far.
Oh, absolutely. We're happy with this first half for sure. But first quarter was really tight, I thought, and I felt like we had the breeze. So really pleased with that second quarter effort. Obviously, then.
Yeah, not the first time this year we've had a bit of a quiet first half, but normally the margin's a little bit closer. But I'm sure Plugger will give them a big rev up at half time, and there'll be hopefully a response in the second half.
Well, we'll leave him to do that, but Hugo?
I was just going to say, now just quickly, as presidents of both clubs, so we've spoken about the allegations and accusations of what happened Thursday night with the light incident at TH King, and can we be sure there was nothing untoward done by the Xavs side that went and flicked the switch? Or the
very well connected club, old Xavs. You never know, but yes, it was a bit of a hectic Thursday night with our lights going out, but we pivoted at short notice, and credit to our women's team. They were happy to cut their training short so our men's team could get a run at Rigetti Oval. But, certainly, if anyone from the city of Stonington, we very much look forward to that long-awaited lighting upgrade. So,
we had Basil out on, I think, Tuesday night as well. So,
all right. So
the city of Stonington's got some work to do.
So it's the Blues. We've narrowed it down. It's the Blues.
All the Tunners. It could be the Brighton as well.
So, Mike, today you've got a big lunch going on. I think, Paddy, you attended as well. Do you want to expand on what's happening out there?
Yeah, it was just our reunions, I suppose. We had a number to mark this year, which was right back to a reserve, A-grade reserve side back in 1966. We had the 76 D-grade flag, which was kind of important to the club because we'd gone close to folding in the early 70s before that, and a few years later won the A-grade flag in 81, and obviously 96 part of the run in the 90s, and 2016 was our most recent senior one, and then we marked a couple of under-19 ones that we missed because of COVID, which 2001 2011. So good crew that day, plenty of old stories. They all got better than they were 60 and 50 years ago, but they were good.
Very good. I think Simon Page called that 1966 one as well. That was his 100th game.
Doing his apprenticeship. There was a good story. One of the boys who played the 76 flag for Xavs had previously played at St Kevin's one year, and during the year when a famous man at our club, Les Radford, was a coach. This is a very iconic story at our club, and Les Radford came in at the start of the year. We were in D grade, and he said, "I guarantee you we will not be in D grade next year." And they won 3 games and got relegated. So he lived up to his promise. So
that's good. I like that.
A bit of a different one for you, Jensen. We've sort of touched on it a bit in our coverage. What does the opposition club mean to you both? So, Paddy, what Old Xavs mean to you, and Mike, what does St Kevin's mean to you? Because we know that there's a storied rivalry and there's a great deal of respect for each other, and it can get a bit testy out on the field. But what does the opposition mean to both of you?
Yeah, look, obviously we've got utmost respect for Xavs. They've been a very strong club for many decades and just so well run across all the grades. I don't think there'd be another club we play at more times per year than Old Xavs across men's, reserves, thirds, 19s. It feels like in the thirds comp we play Old Xavs every week in one of the various teams.
They've got about 20 teams.
That's right, and so and with both clubs equal biggest in the comp with 11 teams, that's bound to happen. But I think without doubt it's a game that both clubs very much look forward to on field. But there's so many strong connections off the field, and there's some great mateships and what have you. So I think that always helps. It's just a good day, both on and off field. So obviously we'd like the scoreboard to be different, but it's just one of those things where it's gone in waves. We've had eras where we couldn't beat Xavs for a long time, and then we had a good run of late, but that sort of turned halfway through last year, and now it's going the other way. But that's footy, right? So but it's certainly good, and as I said, the utmost of respect for those boys.
Yeah, look, well said, Pat. It's very much respect the same way. The TH King, fixture at the start of the year every year is, marked in the calendar very early, and we look forward to that each and every year, and finally, got the chocks for a change this year. But it's a long year, and you're right, all throughout the grades. I mean, even this morning, in that thirds, in Broglio, my son was playing one of my nephews, and that sort of thing happens all the time. And Xavs are really, last 15 years have been a real powerhouse of the competition. Run a great women's program, run a great thirds program, and it's a good contest.
So with both sides locking away finals appearances, you're going long into the season, and probably in a lot of different grades as well. So how busy around both clubs at the moment with preparations for that?
Yeah, it's certainly.
Because I think finals start in the thirds next week, don't they?
Yeah,
and women's as well.
Week, yeah. I'll tell you what, you almost need to be Jack Rush QC to decipher some of the eligibility rules in some of the lower grades. And I spend countless hours just researching and making sure we check in with the team managers and the coaches that we're fielding. Every player we field is eligible, because there's so many things that can trip you up. But look, it's an exciting time of year. We've got a decent number of teams that will be contesting, and looking like we'll have a couple of under-19 sides in there. I think our women's thirds are locked away, top two, and then seniors already locked in, and then I think our men's fourths are going to be in there too. So a few sides there. Xavs have probably got even more than that. So it's an exciting time of year, and finals seem to run for about 2 months across all the grades as well. So.
Yeah, it is. It's busy, and the scheduling stuff doesn't get any easier. Even though there's less games, it just seems like it's harder to get the grounds and everything sorted out. But we were, as of this morning, we were live in all 11 teams. Unfortunately, one of our thirds teams got done this morning, so they're out. And our women's sort of depend on percentage and things like that today. So we'll know a bit better in the afternoon. But under-19s did well. They beat top team Brighton today. So
convincing too, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that's really pleasing. They've sort of built during the year, and they're probably hopefully doing their best work at the right time. So.
Now, I know you'll both be setting aside some time on the potential that you take away the premiership and have a premiership function. In terms of the lead up to finals and during the campaign, any in particular events or functions that your clubs will be running?
Yeah, well, we have our big annual lunch at Kooyong, which because of the grand final now being on the Friday, we have that on the Friday before the prelim, so that'll be Friday the 18th. So that's always a big event. We try and make, I sort of model it on the North Melbourne Grand Final breakfast, where it's very much a generic event, as neutral as possible. So obviously we'll do a big preview on the Premier Men's prelim, and then looking forward to the Grand Final, and then Premier B as well, and then also we touch on under-19s and women. So yeah, that's probably the big social event on our calendar coming up.
Yeah, no good plug. For you, not for us, not for us, Matt. We're just taking it one team at a time. But I did give Paddy's very kind invite to that function this one. Hopefully I can be there. But no, we'll just. I think it's 1 week at a time for us at the moment, and we're just trying to get through we've got our school leavers lunch in a couple of weeks, where we try and if there's any young lads out there that are looking for a game next year in under-19s, we'd love to see them here in 2 weeks' time.
Tickets, Paddy, available for
They
that?
They're on our website, so skobfc.com. And then we've also got round 18, we play Uni Blues, which could be a big game. So that's our Life Members Day as well, which is always a big day. So we've got Sam Doyle, he's a playing coach in our thirds. He's just one of those guys around the club who does everything. Played his 200th game earlier this year, so he gets inducted as a life member, and thoroughly deserved. So that'll be a big day.
Well, Paddy and Michael, thank you both very much for your time. Wish you the best of luck with this afternoon and the rest of the season. You've got a busy couple of months ahead of you both.
Thanks boys. Thank you. Cheers.
Michael Logan of Old Xaverians and Paddy Mount of St Kevin's, the two club presidents, with us here this afternoon. As the two teams are back out on the ground, we'll continue our halftime show thanks to Bell Property, and we'll go around the grounds for Marshall White. Hugo, what have you got for us?
Thanks, Matty. So at Brighton Beach Oval, Brighton 10-10-70, leading old Haileybury 6-4-40. Now, this is the one, Matty, at Melbourne Uni Oval. Those scores were correct. It was amazing. No one kicked a goal till after quarter time, but Uni Blues 2-2-14 are trailing St Bernard's 2-7-19.
Wow.
So we'll keep a close eye on that one. And then Caulfield Grammarians 5-1-31, trailing Old Scotch 9-10-64. So that's got big implications for Caulfield, that result. And Trinity 2-6-18 are trailing Uni Blacks 7-2-44. So implications for Old Trinity if that scoreline continues during the day as well. So that relegation race,
especially with some Bernards if they hold on.
Yes, that is going to get very interesting.
Indeed it is. Speaking of interesting, let's have a look at Prem B here, and it's not getting any prettier for Williamstown CYMS. At half-time, Collegians lead 14-8, 92 to 128. I mean, percentage was already a bit of a non-factor for Williamstown anyway, and it's just going to sink further. Ajax over Old Camberwell here early in the third term. They've just kicked another one of the Jackers, 10-3, 63 to 6-5-41. So that's vital for the Jackers, trying to get back into the top four and trying to overlap Old Camberwell in the process. Old Melburnians and Old Ivanhoe. This is a close one. 5-4-34 plays 4-8-32. D-Lar with a 10-point advantage over Beaumaris, 8-6, 54 to 6-8, 44. And then Old Geelong against Old Carey, a 10-point advantage. In fact, my apologies, they've just kicked the goal of the Panthers, so it's back to 4 points, 7-5, 47 to 6-7, 43. That's around the grounds for Marshall White, selling Prestige Homes for more than 50 years. Of course, we're getting towards the time of the season where now it gets really exciting there, Hugo, and that means you're going to want to consume as much VAFA content as possible.
I didn't know where you're going there, matey.
Well, no. and if that's what you want to do, which you really should, you can keep up to date with everything that's happening around the VAFA via their socials: Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook and LinkedIn. Joining the fun with the best pics, videos, stories and reels from around the competition. All you got to do is search VAFA and VAFA Women's on your favourite platforms. And the VAFA app as well. You can download that today. You can get live scores, ladders, upcoming fixtures and all the latest VAFA news and views right at your fingertips. Just search VAFA in your app store and download it now. And, of course, the VAFA's award-winning official weekly podcast For the Love of the Game has all the latest news, views and analysis from around the VAFA, plus a few laughs as well. Jason Bennett, myself, Matty Donald, Braden Maid, sometimes even Hugo as well. You can download it wherever you get your podcasts.
When available, yes.
When available.
I never miss it. Miss it.
It's the must. If you're going to listen to one podcast a week, that's got to be the one For the Love of the Game. Too far away from starting this second half. I'll leave you in the very capable hands of Brent Sternberg to get us back underway, who's rejoined us here in the commentary box. Welcome to you, Brent.
Thank you, Matty. What does the path back into this game look like for St Kevin's? Hugo, don't take your fingers off that buzzer.
I know. I've got multitasking here, and my wife tells me all the time I'm horrible at that.
You've got to think and talk.
Yes,
at the same
I know. And don't get me started on chewing gum. But they need to get a ball in hand, win some clearances, and retain possession as I press the button. So we're on.
Into the third quarter for Bowens. St Kevin's have an hour of football to save their double chances. Mansfield out of the middle. Trickles them up towards half forward. The Scobbers are going to the right of the dial in this third quarter for Bowens as Darmody's wrapped up in a big tackle. It's a 40-point margin as we go for the third quarter. It is the game high water mark, 9-5-59. The Xavs, St Kevin's 3-1-19. They edge it forward to the contest. Goss took it, gave it away quickly to Fisher. And then off to Stavro, who hasn't really gotten into the game. That was not a good kick. Delamitru pounces, kicks towards full forward. There's all sorts of goings-on. Mark was claimed by the player, but not paid by the umpire. So Cooper has to give it back to the ump, and will throw it up at the roof of the goal square. St Kevin's at full forward.
So Coates and Spratley here. Hart got the hands free, hands it over to Hanson, dispossessed, snap a goal from Gill, didn't go very far, went wide anyway, still alive. Fisher intercepted the Cooper hand pass, charged down, tripped it over the boundary line as a result. Good pressure here from St Kevin's to start this third term. They trail by 40 points on the Bowen scoreboard, the builder's choice. The umpire launches this one back into the field of play now. It's Coates again, Hodges applying the tackle on Dunn, and there it ends.
Yeah, much better start by St Kevin's. Some forward defensive pressure with that, which they were lacking in the first half. Just need a result from this.
Hanson had a fumble, lays the tackle on Gunson. Do it again. So St Kevin's kicking to the Fulton Street end, the right of your radio dial here in this third term. Got it inside 50 now with the stoppage, and this is all a bit untidy, this in the last minute. It's just been stoppage after stoppage. Now it's fallen here for Kerr, who goes with the outside of the boot, and speaking of messy, it's gone out of bounds on the fall. That was not a great kick, although under pressure, the Xavs will get the ball back in the back line.
Yeah, it was very hard to clear from that. But what St Kevin's need to do now is defend this, cause a turnover by this Xavs exit.
Brosnahan with ball in hand in the right back pocket. Kicks towards the outer side. Delaney and Angus Harts. Hart again trying to pay himself the mark. Umpire not in a charitable mood, told him to play on. It's won by Saunders. High kick inside 50, so repeat entries for the Scobbers. Mansfield, his handball forward. It missed Cameron. Goss came through. Hodges held on but couldn't bring him down, and then Goss's kick was smothered. And the ball goes out of bounds right where the 45 arc and the boundary meet. But you're right, Hugo, already in these early minutes of this third quarter, the pressure, particularly in the front half for St Kevin's, better than it was in the first half.
Much better. It was virtually non-existent in the first half. So what I really liked there was they got that intercept off that exit there, even though it was probably marked to Hart, but playing a little bit of forward half footy.
Coates took it out of the ruck and then darting through Hodges. It's a high kick that won't score. It goes out into the pocket. Good bravery shown there by Goss, and earned himself a free kick for too high. Back into the team today, as we've mentioned a few times, but he's one of their very best players, Will Goss. He is a premiership player in the under-19s and in the reserves. Would desperately love to add a senior medallion this year. His kick goes awry on the outer side. Mansfield, another touch inside 50, a little give. Darmody locks in on the target and steers it through for the first goal of the third quarter for Bowens. And Darmody, well, that's just what the doctor ordered for the Scobbers coming out of the half-time break, Hugo.
Absolutely. Just what they needed. Just a little bit of forward half footy with pressure around the ball when they don't have possession, and multiple options with each possession as well. It's not in the first quarter where they're looking for a handball. There's only one there that was under pressure. They had multiple options moving forward. But forward half footy and defensive pressure is key for them at the moment, and also 2 clearances. So clearances to advantage, I've been keeping tally of that. They're 2 up at the moment. So that's a very important stat because that'll give them first use of the ball. This one here, this will be telling they need to make the most of this momentum, keep that moving forward and peg this margin back.
What the Xavs have done a lot today is when they've conceded a goal, they've got it right back.
Yeah.
Can't afford to do that here, St Kevin's. Got to try and string a few together. Back in the middle, Coates is going to win the clearance. You can jot that one down, Hugo. High up towards half forward, and Hodges, is he going to be paid the mark? No. Coming over the top was Tom Dunn, who took a great grab from behind, and he sends the kick out to Fisher, who goes with the kicking board to Ed Delaney, who's now marked it on the wing. Moved this one pretty well unchallenged at the moment. Fisher running alongside to get the hand pass from Delaney. That's very un-Fisher-like. He's pushed it out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, Delaney didn't need to give it to the housemate there. Probably should have kicked it himself.
Saunders, I was going to make a comment about the mirrors in that house, but I might park that one for later, Hugo. Down the line, Dillamitri was held out of it well there by Ganji, the 2 going after it. Dillamitri was tackled without the football. Umpires missed that one. Seston gathers it now, kicks in towards St half forward. It's a beauty. Mark taken by Spralia. He's got a big kick on him, but he might just be too far out to score, but he's going to back himself in, it looks, Hugo.
Yeah, you'd think so. Is that comment something to do with having to get some new mirrors because they wore the other ones out?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
That's what Trigger told me last week, or the week before.
So, not a noted goal kicker, Sprague. He's kicked 2 for the season. And he'll be kicking from outside the 45-metre arc here. He drives it along. He's got the distance easily. He's got it all the way home. There's Alex Sprague. There was no trouble for him at all. What a long-range kick from the ruckman. What a bonus for the Xavs. Sprague on the score sheet. He's 3rd of the season. 10-5-65, plays 4-1-25. 6 gone in this third for Bowens, the builder's choice.
That was a remarkable goal, and the most remarkable thing about that whole passage of play is Charlie McIsaac got his jumper ripped off in the square for a moment there. He was derobed. That was bizarre. So we'll have to check that one on the footy. But that's not what St Kevin's were looking for, but is what Xavs are very good at. Answering that goal with a goal, and very good at getting another one on the back of that. So St Kevin's will need to go into lockdown mode here and try and maintain a bit of possession, move forward.
They'll be disappointed with that, the Scobbers. They probably had a free kick on the half-back line there that went unpaid. Back in the middle, Stavros, handball expansive to the outer side. Here is Dillamitri, who should have gotten that free kick. He gets the better of Charlie Knott. Handball, Mansfield fumbling, got back in control of it. Back to Dillamitri. They build this play by hand, the Scobbers. Pfeiffer, Ferguson, just didn't quite reach Hodges, and Goss races in and wins the football back for the Xavs and propels them to half forward. Westcott wants someone to come at him, delivers his kick out into the pocket, over the boundary line, over the fence. Terrible stuff. And the Scobbers will take over in the left back pocket.
Angus Hart wasting no time. He's going to go with a switch, and that's out on the full too. 2 out of the fulls in a row. You don't get that very often. Free kick within scoring range here for the Xavs.
Our man's got it too.
Yeah, and this is not the bloke you want the footy in the hands of inside 50. Charlie McIsaac. This is a tight angle, but it's not beyond him. He is going to go with this around the body stuff. He'll be from about 40 metres out, so we'll need to catch this pretty well perfectly, Hugo. He opens up the face now. He curls it around the body, but he curls it too much.
Very close.
1-1 for Charlie McIsaac this afternoon. He kicked the first goal of the game. 10-6-66. He's 4-1-25. He's kicked the first goal of the first half, at the first point of the second half. Bowen's the builder's choice.
Remind you, the Xavs are playing with one less player, McRae, out of the game in the first quarter. Injury update for Ortho Sport Victoria. Centre half back here, Hodges, Saunders, and now Phillips. His kick comes rather wide. Entersky, the bounce didn't do him any favours. He tumbles a little kick cleverly to Delamitru, forward of the play. Dolman had to get rid of it quickly. Darmody centering broadcast side. Delamitru's expansive handball. Little fumble there from Jones, and that's where it broke down for the Scobbers. And it just trickles out of bounds right in front of the St Kevin's bench.
There's a timekeeper vents his frustrations there. That's fair enough too. Simple errors like that in a good passage of play where you've got forward momentum just bring the opposition back into the play.
So between wing and half forward here for St Kevin's, a broad ball back into play. Coates grabbed it out of the ruck. His hand pass missed the target. It was thumped forward, only though as far as Matheson that time. Marnie had a bit of a fumble. Had enough time to go with a kick down the line, but Brosnahan, good judgment going back with the flight. He gives it across to Goss really quickly. That kick up the line bounced just inside the field of play, but it doesn't matter because it's gone out of bounds anyhow. You see a free kick going the way of Matheson at St Kevin's, and a 45 kick finding Darmody. And he wants to go with a central kick as well. That's nice. They've worked this well here, St Kevin's. Mansfield's kick was smothered. It's fallen back to him, though. He's got a second go at it. In towards full forward. Kerr off hands. Umpire wave play on. Clearing kick out towards the back flank here for the Xavs. Which will favour Marnie, though, for St Kevin's. He's got it now. Spears a kick into towards the pocket. It's a beautiful pass. It's a dart from Jack Marnie, and it finds Cam Hodges inside 45, but on a pretty tight angle.
So I suppose you could say about the last 3 minutes of play is that St Kevin's have benefited from the least amount of turnover errors because there's just been turnover error. So anyway, they're having a shot on goal now as a little bit of frustration vents with some players.
And Hodges goes with a pass instead towards the pocket to Darmody, and he had 3 Xavs to contend with. And now Goss has run into trouble. Has he got rid of it? No, he hasn't. Holding the ball. So good pressure there from St Kevin's. They converged on him very quickly indeed. Goss is a good player, but even he can't shrug 3 tackles at once.
What's Bromhead going to do here?
Hopefully he's going to go a drop punt, just as a starting point. He's a right footer. He's not going to go around the body from here. Now what's happening?
Blood rule.
So Will Goss is coming off the ground here.
Got opened up nice and quickly in that last contest.
He's making his way towards the bench now.
I was just telling Fisher there that you can cut, it's a blood rule, so you can come straight on. You don't have to wait for him to get to the interchange.
Now this is giving Bromhead time to think here.
Is that a good thing?
Sometimes it's not with players. But at least he's going with the orthodox method here.
Let's see. He's only kicked 2 goals for the season. This is his 5th game, Tom Bromhead. Comes in now from just inside 45. It's pushed across the face. It's still alive. Gone over the line yet. A real scrum on the goal line. The umpire says, I'll take this. I'll toss it up a couple of metres away from the St Kevin's goal line.
That's a win for St Kevin's. That goes through. Then you're giving Xavs possession. Fair enough, you can see the point. That will make them run out. Here there's still a live chance for a snap goal.
Coates with the flick back. He was looking for Hodges, who applied the tackle on Hanson. And that's another stoppage.
Hodges, who had that shot a goal a moment ago, he should have taken it. Instead tried to pass it off. So we're still deep in St Kevin's territory. Coates knocked it right into the massive players. Tom Hart rather. Handball indiscriminate. Fisher's handball was like lightning. And Tom Dunn kicks out towards this near wing, and the foot race on for the Sharon. Guiney there, second run in. Cleverly over his head was Bromhead. Delamitru, handball inboard. Marnie, that's his second great kick up to the 50 already in this quarter. Put it right on the chest of Jones. And I can tell you, this is one player who's not going to muck around with it here. He's just going to line it up, kick it straight down Broadway, and get the Scobbers back into the game.
Absolutely. Bromhead, excellent play there. He knew he had the player behind him. He wasn't facing the goal. Tapped it over, so that's good. Plenty of forward half footy at the minute for the Scobbers. Need to capitalise.
Cal Jones will kick from just outside the arc, 45-degree angle, maybe a bit better than that. 6 goals on the season, got very close to the player on the mark. It lags out in towards full forward. Couldn't take the mark there. Fisher, it bundles around. Xavs had possession. Ganji kicks quickly. Spralia not able to take it. Ferguson at the spill. Handball around. Gunson turns for home from the arc. It still won't have the carry. And Coates had to fly against 4 Xavs, and Fennelly was one of them in there. He took the mark.
He gives it very quickly to Lane in the opposite back pocket. Great work from Delamitri a moment ago. Had to beat Spralia in the air, brought it to ground.
Yeah, Spralia tried to chest mark it. You never do that.
Not a done. It's a good sweeping kick, and they've got plenty of space here. Seston, there's no one inside 50 for the Xavs, so Seston's got to wait for runners to get back towards the square. They do now. Good use of the body for the Western. No, it wasn't. It was illegal use of the body. And the crowd don't like it. So Kevin's have got away with one there. Delamitru's ball. Free kick, gives it away to Gunson. Wanted to go with a kick up the line. Instead he goes wide, looking for Andruski. Oh, that was a heavy hit. Stavro coming the other way. Good honest contest. Falls for Lane. Swings it towards goal. Delamitru, the goalkeeper. Marks. He saves the day again for St Kevin's at full back. And what does he do with it this time? He's going to try and hit up a lead outside of the 50. And it cleared Kerr. Chance again here for the Xavs. Now Hanson's got it from 45. Clips it in towards full forward. A good spoil again there from Andruski that time. And then Ferguson, no nonsense, thumps it out of there. Darley gives it away. And now there's a bit of room here for Hodges, who gets it across. And now it's gathered here by Bromhead, who goes up the line. Downfield. Marnie's got it. He keeps on going. Advantage paid. Runs to 50. He might just go all the way here, Marnie. There's no one home, though. And he didn't have the distance on the kick. Fenley marks it full back, and he kicks it over the head of Lane, and it falls here for Gunson. He's got 3 Xavs to contend with. Good follow-up work here from Lane. The Xavs have got numbers here. Gives the hand pass across, and now Charlie Knott takes a bounce, runs up the line, gives it across to Seston again. Sends a kick in towards full forward to McIsaac, who's got out the back, and he marks at the top of the goal square, and he'll surely put through his second.
Well, that was lightning play. You just wonder about Marnie with that kick in hope, whether he could have pulled something up. But anyway, that's football. Playing the type of brand the game they are, you need to be able to work both ways really quickly.
From full back to full forward with such swiftness and precision. McIsaac comes in and makes no mistake. He's got his second. And the Xavs just keep on keeping on here at Toorak Park. This is all of a sudden turning into a very, very big lead indeed. The Bowens, the Builders' Choice scoreboard in this third term. The Xaverians have now moved to 11-6-72. St Kevin's 4-1-25, 15 gone in the term.
So St Kevin's are actually still in front with the clearances to advantage at the moment. They're also time in forward half. They'll be well and truly in front in time in forward half, but they just have not made any opportunity forward count. You just think of all those shots they've had on goal. They're having them from long distances. St Kevin's, and then on the turnover, they can't get back quick enough. We just saw McIsaac. You can't believe that McIsaac, the player that he is standing on his own in the goal square.
47 points. The Xavs lead has swelled to.
Looking ominous, isn't it, Brent?
Yeah, McIsaac with his 54th goal of the season, which was his total last year, including the finals. So we'll have a PB this season. Stavro wins it out of the middle, hooks it around. McIsaac not in this contest, almost taking the mark. Flailing to ground was Woodhouse. Wanganeen sticks a tackle. And I think some of the Scobbers didn't really like some of the attention in there. We will get a ball up just inside the arc, inside 50 here for the Xavs, going to the left of your dial. Emerging with it brilliantly, Wanganeen tosses the kick up towards full forward. Seston out the back. This way, that way, turns around, does the team thing, and did it brilliantly. Just got away from Matheson, I think that was, and landed on the chest of Fisher, who will have a shot right in front. Well done, Ollie Seston.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the intended target for that kick. He executed it beautifully. Did the team thing in not trying to screw a shot around the body that would have been virtually impossible to kick. He's having a very good, influential game, Ollie Seston.
Fisher kicked 1 goal in the first half. Won the Woodrow medal in his first season at Toorak Park a couple of years ago. One of the best players in the competition, right in front. Fisher has kicked it terribly. And St Kevin's hang by a thread. The Xavs 11-7-73. The SKOBs 4-1-25. 17 and a half minutes gone in this third quarter for Bowens.
He's had a couple of ordinary kicks today, Sam Fisher. We're not accustomed to seeing from him. Matheson brings it back into play and goes with a kick up towards the wing. It's come off hands. Here's Guiney. What a welcome addition he's been to the side today. Spralia, Lane again, hits up Westcott, gives it back to Lane. He is going to try and hit up another lead. And he finds Charlie Mackay against space again. He marks 35 metres out, slight angle, a chance to kick consecutive goals.
There was just that exit kick from St Kevin's that was beautifully turned over, and Xavs just went to work there. Now, Campbell Lane, I've been watching him. He's going to have big numbers today. He's been involved in a lot. He's been a consistent performer for them. Consistently been consistent across the quarters so far. But that's the entry they like, just that time and space in front of Charlie McIsaac or whoever's there.
So Brent mentioned a moment ago, McIsaac's just kicked his 54th goal of the season, which equals his PB. A chance to step into new territory for McIsaac.
What did he do there, Matty? Did you see that? He pulled back on the kick.
Yes,
he didn't kick through it. High ball drop.
They need to hire you as his goal kicking coach.
Yeah,
there you go.
It comes at triple figures.
2-2 for McIsaac. Triple invoice.
Triple invoice. Triple everything.
11-8 plays 4-1.
Matheson's flat, low rifle kick up in the middle, intercepted by Nick Guiney. Where did he play his VFL footy, Nick Guiney?
I'll tell you who it wasn't. It wasn't Footscreen.
It was the Tigers. Kick out into the pocket, and Westcott slipped away from Marnie. He's still 45 metres from goal, out at right half forward, underneath the scoreboard.
I don't talk AFL or VFL. Actually, I will talk VFL because Essendon did beat Collingwood by a point last week. That's a victory.
They're in the finals, Essendon VFL.
Yes, how exciting.
Okay,
I can barely slip.
We're looking at Charlie Westcott here, who's kicked one goal this season, 1 goal 3. Right up against the boundary. One Charlie couldn't kick the goal a moment ago. This Charlie, well, it's the same result. Misses to the near side. And I think they say they're peppering. They're peppering the Xavs, 11-9 now.
It's like my hair, salt and peppering.
St Kevin's 4-1.
Hugo, you mentioned a few minutes ago Campbell Lane. He was our skins player of the game when these two teams met back in round 1.
There you go.
Maybe on track to do the double over St Kevin's. The pioneers of compression, the most coveted cap in the game.
I don't see many of them around, though, do they? Players don't tend to wear them.
They treasure them. They hang them up in the pool room.
Not their own pool.
No, it's not one of those caps you just wear out and about.
No.
Special one. Saunders. Now to Phillips, gives it back to Saunders. They're just dicing with it in their defensive half. And then hand pass to Mansfield, put him under all sorts of pressure. Brosnahan coming in with the tackle. And it's fallen out of play for a boundary throw-in, and that just about sums up these two teams today. Hugo, Old Xavs have been on form. St Kevin's have just not been able to keep up with them.
No, they probably haven't been able to execute either, but they've retreated a lot, St Kevin's. Retreated with possession, but they've got themselves into a corner. The Xavs are very good at closing in on teams and taking away options and causing turnovers.
Cooper did well there against Spralia, but then he was taken a strong tackle by Hansen and it's forced a turnover. Westcott tries to duck under the tackle. He did nicely. Across to Knott. Hand pass to Spralia. He's already kicked one. This hand pass looking for Woodhouse. Hard crashing through. The ball's still alive. Now Dolman gathers it for St Kevin's. Anywhere will do. But he's kicked it straight down the throat of the Xavs opponent there in Nick Guiney, who marks
very long
on the paint of 45.
Very long kick, Nick Guiney too. I'd back myself in if I was him, which going back with a cricketer's run-up, he certainly is.
Making the team for the first time since round 9, Nick Guiney. Was just starting to get a few back. Fenley last week. Guiney and Goss this week. Guiney add his name to the list of goal kickers for the Xavs. He gets very close to the man on the mark. He strikes at the 50. He's flushed it! He's got all of that, Nick Guiney. And he's kicked a long-range bomb from beyond the arc. His 4th of the campaign, Nick Guiney. And the Xavs are just kicking them from all points on the compass right now. On the Bowens, the Builder's Choice scoreboard, 12-9-81 to 4-1-25. Just ticked over time on in the third term, Hugo.
Yeah, I'm just going to jump in quickly, Matty, with one around the ground score from Melbourne Uni Oval. Uni Blues 3-3-21, trailing St Bernard's 5-10-40.
I get the feeling that that's surely a proper mud patch there, because that just seems like a real Dow struggle to score.
56-point leaders here, the Xavs at home, and right now for St Kevin's, It is a huge gap looking up to second spot on the ladder. The Xavs come forward again out of the middle. They go a little wider than they might have imagined. Woodhouse so strong. Got the handball. It just went past Lane. It went in between Lane and Knott. Saunders took it. Gave it straight back to Delaney. Knott will get another go here just outside the 50. Stavro, standing start. High kick out into the pocket. McIsaac read the ball drop better than anybody else. And McIsaac is going to line up for goal, but he's as deep as can be in the right forward pockets.
Yeah, so Xavs are really getting on top with those clearances to advantage in the middle of the ground and starting to get some real serious forward half footy time. So it's looking really ominous for St Kevin's at the moment.
2 goals for Charlie McIsaac. He's going to step around, hook it around and in on the left boot. That is magnificent stuff from Charlie McIsaac. The 5-time leading goal kicker here at Toorak Park, soon to be 6-time leading goal kicker, pushes the margin out to whatever it is there, 12-9 to 4-1.
52, I think that is, unless I've lost count too. I think that was their 13th. Yep, their 13th.
Yes, I think you're right.
And I've just had a look at the round the grounds, Hugo. It's sunshine out at University Oval. Can't see any mud patch, so I think it's just 2 defences that are really on top at the moment. But I tell you what a big result that'd be for the Snowdogs. What a fortnight.
And it's 56 points the margin, you blokes. Simon Pench teach you 2 maths.
Yeah, he did. Learned a lot off him. He asked me to say that. Hanson applying the tackle back in the middle here at Toorak Park. Poor boy.
No, but just to defend myself, it was 56 and now the 13th goal, so it should be 62.
Well, now they're just adding the score on the scoreboard. Hanson over to Goss. Great run out of defence. Up towards half forward, and it's going to stay inside the field of play here. Never doubt us, Hugo. Then
so plenty do.
Phillips gives that pass to Andruski. Dicing with it again here, St Kevin's. Dangerous kick out of defence. Darmody, good courage from Wade Brosnahan. Just forced it out of play. Boundary throw in here at left half forward. The Xavs in front of the revamped grandstand here at Toorak Park. Look at $1 million.
So regardless of what the number is, the point is it's a lot. All the old Xaverians right now. We're going to learn a bit about some of these SKOB's players over these next 40 minutes or so. As Dolman wins the clearance here from half back. Handball into the middle. Oh, gee, put Darmody in hospital. Oh, Delaney offended him. That was not a dangerous tackle.
He didn't really tackle him. He just sort of grabbed him and then just let go of him.
A rugby motion to it.
Darmody got the free kick and moved it along to Cameron. Just forward of centre for St Kevin's, who have gone cold in this third quarter at Toorak Park. Cameron keeping the kick short. And mark or free kick here, umpire giving it the way of the SKOBers. Mansfield, I think this is.
You said, Brent, before that we'll find out a bit about these St Kevin's players. And I'll tell you what, Anthony Lynch will find out a bit about these St Kevin's players too, which might affect their position in the team moving forward.
Mansfield's tried really hard in the clinches today. He has kicked 5 goals on the season. Can he kick a late one here in the third term? Kicks from outside the arc, made okay contact. It just wobbles out towards the goal square. They all jump up trying to retrieve it. Come back to Cameron. And then Gill, handball out wide in the pocket. It's still alive. Angus Hart with the underground handball. That was not the thing to do. Brosnahan, Dunn. That was Tom Dunn who kicked it straight to Hodges, who kicks it into the heart of the 50. It was touched. Darmody took the mark, had to play on, and then got taken high.
Hart's moved forward. Angus, that is.
Got to try something, Matty.
Interesting, Hart, not Phillips.
Well, yeah, maybe. Look, the coaches have got their opinions and reasons why, but the concern now is not bleeding more goals. The concern is trying to kick some goals.
Yeah, just 4 goals.
5 shots on goal.
Yeah, just 5 shots through nearly 3 quarters. Darmody has kicked one of those 4 goals for St Kevin's today after earning that free kick for over the shoulder.
He's taking every bit of his 30 seconds. He did it twice over.
Just away to the right. He's 20 metres out. He steers it through. Darmody with his second. And that is their second goal of the quarter, St Kevin's, but most of the scoring being done at the other end. It's still the old Xaverians by a long way.
Yes, that would be about the correct margin, a long way, and it's a long way back. But now's the time for St Kevin's not to focus on the scoreboard. What they've got to focus on is the process and the system that they want to use. First thing they need to do is maintain possession. They've got to find an exit out of that defensive 50 because that has just been picked off way too easy today. and need to capitalise moving forward a little bit. They need to find a marking option.
What's that margin, Hugo? You're good at math.
56.
Hansen caught in the restart. That time by Cameron. Umpire toss it up once again. Spralia punched it away. Coates gathers it. Puts the kick up towards half forward. It's loose off the side of the boot, so it trickles towards the flank rather. Good attack that time from Darman. He gave it across to Dolman. His hand pass down the line looking for Marnie, who just kept it in play. Did well. Ferguson couldn't keep it in though, and it's going to play for a boundary throw in.
Yeah, he did well there, Ferguson. He knew the troops were coming to get him because he was facing the wrong way with the ball and no options. So to get it over the line, that's a bit of a win.
So nearly 28 gone here in this third term on the Bowen scoreboard. Coates front spot again that time. Darmody trying to crash through. He's caught by Tom Hart. And the umpire with foot once again. 13-9 plays 5-1. Score. And Xavs led by 19 points at quarter time, 40 at the half. Kerr was in there. Dolman getting a quick kick forward. Must have been touch off the boot or not 15 because no mark was paid that time. And Marnie applying a tackle on Fenley to lock things up. Coates again. Hansen was there. Hardy's kick was smothered. He has to go in and get it again. Now he falls on top of the football. How's the umpire going to adjudicate this? He's going to say ball.
Around the grounds in just a moment with Hugo, as we're having a look at stoppage laden play here in attack for St Kevin's. Looking to try and pinch another one here. No one can come shooting through the stoppage. St Kevin's had to tackle the Xavs ball carrier. Fennelly in there. The play gets us back underway in the shadows of three-quarter time. Angus Hart doesn't kick too many goals. Kicks to the goal square. Bromhead trying to keep it alive. It's rushed. And I think Lane might have taken it over for a behind. Indeed he did.
We just see Xavs probably looking for three-quarter time now, which I'm pretty sure is not too far away.
So 5-2 now, St Kevin's. Xavs 13-9.
And you don't want to waste any time bringing it back in. They kick up to Hart, and now they're away again. Fenley with a kick up towards half forward. There's plenty of space here. Trying to run onto it now. At the outside of the boot, the kick towards goal from Dunn. There's a 2 on none of the goals. Oh, and it's clean bowled Seston. It's gone right through him. And that's, that's going to go down as a behind to Tom Dunn, but it's not going to tell the full story of that setup. 13-10 plays 5-2, and to bring it back in again here, Brent Sternberg.
And they've turned it over in the middle. Delaney, handball came to him. It was a little sharp, and then Coates took it off him. A little give to Dolman. Kicked up towards half forward, but favoured by that one was Whitehead, who cut across Ollie Gill and took the mark, and it looks like the Xavs are going to take a 56-point margin lead into three-quarter time. And that's exactly what will come to pass. The Xavs 13-10, 88. And St Kevin's 5-2, 32. So the margin right about that 9-goal threshold. And this could be a very interesting development here at Toorak Park, with the Xavs trying to get away from St Kevin's in third spot and trying to get as close as they can to the Blues on top of the ladder, who are in a spot of bother at home, Hugo.
Absolutely, and this is becoming percentage building for Xavs. And the other result you was talking about, well, not result, but thing that's transpiring, Uni Blues 3-3-21, trailing St Bernard's 6-10-46. Now, I believe, Matty, on the For the Love of the Game award-winning podcast this week, I did say that I reckon that they will take a scalp this week. Not this week, in moving forward. Moving forward.
I thought you were going to say they might have been able to welcome a few players back this week as well. Or maybe that might have been.
That was next week, because it's still VFL this week. But maybe they've been released. We're not sure.
We're not sure yet.
But that's at three-quarter time there at Melbourne Uni Oval.
One thing we are sure of is that there's a 56-point advantage to Old Xaverians here at Toorak Park. This is William Buck. Premier Men's around 16 match of the day action here on VAFA.com.au and the SEN app. It's all Old Xaverians from here. Can they maintain it right through to the last? We'll take a quick break and bring you the final term after this.
Listen to the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day this Saturday afternoon on the SEN app and SEN's no-delay streaming product, SEN Stadium. That's VAFA Footy, live with no delay, Saturday from 1:45pm. Listen via the app.
Footy finals are almost here, and there's no better way to kick them off than at the 2026 William Buck VAFA Finals Luncheon. Join MC Nat Edwards, AFL legends and Brownlow medalists James Hird and Jimmy Bartel plus Jason Bennett and the VAFA media team for a live For the Love of the Game finals preview. Friday, September 4th at the RACV City Club. Enjoy a premium 2-course lunch, beverage package and an unforgettable afternoon of football stories and finals insights. Book your tickets now at vafa.com.au. Don't miss out on one of the biggest events on the VAFA calendar.
Hey guys, at GYG we never compromise on the quality of our food. That's why we only serve 100% free-range chicken. We're on a mission to reinvent fast food. Because who said fast food had to be bad food? Love ya.
The VAFA Rising Star Award recognises the competition's most talented young players. Each week, the VAFA Rising Star Committee receives nominations for one male and one female player aged 20 years or under who played no more than 7 senior games before this season. Our overall season winners will be declared the VAFA Rising Stars for 2026. So if your club has a young gun making their mark, nominate them now at media@vafa.com.au.
Stay up to date with all the latest from the Victorian Amateur Football Association with the brand new VAFA app. Stay connected with live scores, fixtures, stats and news from across the Victorian Amateur Football Association right at your fingertips. Download the VAFA app today from the App Store or Google Play and never miss a moment.
Keep up to date with everything that's happening around the VAFA by subscribing to our socials. We're on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook and LinkedIn. Has someone just taken a screamer or kicked goal of the year? Send us your best and we might share them around the league. Join in the fun with all the best pics, videos, stories and reels from around the competition. They're all on VAFA socials. Search VAFA and VAFA Women's on your favourite platforms.
Listen to the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day this Saturday afternoon on the SEN app and SEN's no-delay streaming product, SEN Stadium. That's VAFA Footy, live with no delay, Saturday from 1:45pm. Listen via the app.
Welcome back to VAFA William Buck Premier Men's Round 16 footy here on SEN's Match of the Day and on vafa.com.au. It is three-quarter time here at Toorak Park. Old Xaverians with a 56-point advantage over St Kevin's, 13-10-88 to 5-2-32. Xavs coach Dan Donati will be absolutely wrapped with how his team have played so far, and we'll have a listen to him addressing his players now at the huddle.
Step back around.
Just have a look at these things. Again. They can't really pick it up, unfortunately, gents, but I'm sure the messaging, Hugo, would be most positive. Oh, hang on.
Right. These things, they started getting a little bit...
Right out.
No, it's you can't really get it. We'll chat with Dan and Cooper very shortly in isolation. But Hugo, he must be thrilled with the way it's going.
Yes, he'd be very happy with the scores from turnover, and he must be very happy with his back line too. They've been rock solid down there. St Kevin's have had enough entries to have more of a score on the board, but they've just defended really well. So he'd be focusing on that, and he'd be looking forward for a big last quarter because percentage will be interesting now.
Yeah. Well, certainly in terms of the race for the top two.
Correct.
We were looking at sort of second, big third, that double chance split, but I think it's only going to, the gap between them was 9% coming in today. That's only going to increase now. They've just broken away from their huddle, Old Xaverians, so we will just see if we can find Cooper. He's just making his way towards Dan Donati now. He's just having a chat with
Ed
Delaney down there. And he's trying to get his attention now, and I think Cooper, he's just about got a hold of Dan Donati.
Got him down here, boys. Obviously, SKOB sort of hit back in the first 5 to 10 of that quarter, but you guys really responded. What do you think of it?
Yeah, no, for sure. They're going to get the game in their terms at some point. Their terms is forward half pressure, and I thought they did it really well. We nullified and managed to get one, but then we got it forward and managed to take some opportunities up there. But if you give them the game, they're a bloody good forward half side, so we try to take that away from them as much as we can today.
Thanks, Dan. Cheers.
Thank you for that there, Cooper and Dan Donati. That huddle report thanks to Wingate, a leading alternative investment manager focused on property debt, mid-market, corporate debt and direct property investment. Hugo, you mentioned that Anthony Lynch will be looking to see what he can learn about as the St Kevin's plays. What exactly will he be looking for?
You're looking for players who, you don't have to win every contest, but players that don't lose contests. So if you're 50-50 something up, becomes a stoppage rather than your opposition player being able to exit for it, that'd be very important in what you're looking for to move forward. He'd be looking for a lift out of some top-end players, and he'd be looking for some guys in that forward line to stand up, take a mark, and do something, basically, Matty. That's what he'd be looking for. You're looking for players who can stand up under adversity, make the right decisions as well. So this will be a big learning quarter for them.
56 points is the deficit at the moment. This final turn brought to you by Domo Insurance. Hugo Higginbotham Cooper Watkins, Matthew Donald and Brent Sternberg with you to call the opening moments of this final.
So the way things are situated with around the grounds as well, the Xavs will be pulling up alongside the University Blues on 52 points. Premiership points, that is. They've got 10% in terms of percentage to gain. One last big half an hour of Xavs footy here. And you reckon they could maybe close that gap? We'll wait and see. We'll get the around the grounds with Hugo as this final quarter transpires and see what happens in the last quarter over at the University Oval. What did you say the margin was there at the final break?
I think it was about 19 points.
Right. St Bernard's the bottom of the table. Here we go with the Xavs leading St Kevin's by 56 points into the final quarter for Domo Insurance. Coates won it down to Mansfield, who's been one of their better players today. Long kick inside 50. SKOB going to the left of the dial in this final quarter. Ricochets back out towards the arc. Brosnahan, handball to the ankles of Delaney and then pulled out of there by Gill. His handball was misplaced. It's taken by Mansfield a second time. His kick goes out wide and out into the pockets where we'll have it thrown in. The right forward pocket for the SKOBers. 13-10-88. The old Xaverians. St Kevin's 5-2-32. Umpire just asking the Rucks to make themselves known. They've only come from behind at three-quarter time to win once this season, the SKOBers. That was a few weeks ago against St Bernard's. Can they shark an early goal here? Pfeiffer took the footy, ran into a roadblock, and he's going around and around, and he did go through for a behind, but I think the umpire's blown the whistle, and instead we'll get a ball up at the teeth of the SKOBers' goal.
Very close to goal here, and Dunn is just trying to drag it over the line, and he's done so successfully there. They're happy to concede the point because it means they get possession of the football back. 5-3 plays 13-10, a 55-point lead to the Xavs. So St Kevin's one down, 55 more to go. Great kick in and a good mark as well by Woodhouse at half back. He's waiting for numbers to run back towards goal. That's not a very good kick. Advantage Dolman, who drifted in to take a nice mark for St Kevin's on the back flank. He goes with a 45 kick, risky, but it's a good one. It finds Gunson right in the heart of Toorak Park. And he's happy to just go with a high up and under inside 50, asking an awful lot of curve. Flew very early again. No mark or free kick taken. Coates, of all people, doing the roving. Ball trickling towards the boundary line. Gathered here by Guiney. Goes into Woodhouse to Lane. Spins around and he finds Hanson, who's been busy today. Hands it across to Knott. Back to Hanson, who was worried out of it by Andriski. Goes out of play for a boundary throw in. And you go, we'll have to try and figure out who the Skins player of the day is in the next 30 minutes. The Pioneers of compression.
Well, we're looking for someone to stand up. Very even performance at the moment. Campbell Lane's up there, Guiney going very well, so we'll keep an eye on that.
Seston was very good early.
Yes, he was. He's gone quiet though, Matty.
So it's back in here. Strong tackle on Pfeiffer that time. Lane again. Couldn't really get a hand pass away on that occasion. Hodges did well to went through traffic, back to Marnie. Oh, he runs into Woodhouse and he was dispossessed. Gathered here by Stavru. Looks to loop a hand pass forward. Saunders tried to cut it out. And then Delamitri was taken in a nice tackle, and that's where the play he breaks down. Just attacking side of the wing here for the Xavs on the far side of the ground.
Well, there's a lot of pressure around the ball by both sides, but Xavs seem to be able to get a little bit of momentum and edging the ball forward. You're waiting for something to spill out, and then they're in attack.
55 points to margin. Early minutes of the final quarter here at Toorak Park. Free kick in the ruck. Going the way of Billy Coates. He just has a little look around to see where he might like to send this kick. And then he does what we all knew he'd do anyway and just kicks it down the line. It's not a good one, though. Right over the head of Ferguson and Fennelly, who's been very impressive in the back half. And as I say that, it's a terrible kick. Gunson comes in to win it for the SKOBers. Works with Gill. Poor kick inside 50. Had Pfeiffer right there and stuck it on the chest of Will Goss. Who comes the length or the width of the back 50. And Brosnahan almost impaled himself on the fence trying to mark it. That tells you how wide the kick went.
A couple of players have done that today.
Yeah, it's been very interesting. Now, Doug Kurajisi ran hard to get to that ball too. That's my favourite player of every player. When you can tell how much they like a goal when they really bust something to get there.
Doug Kerr, who has returned to the team today, kicked the goal early and has been quiet through the middle quarters of the game.
He's infatuated with Doug Kerr. He's Petchy.
Deep in the left forward pocket. On the runway is Doug Kerr. He's got it narrow. Misses to the near side, the left-hand side. 5-4-34. St Kevin's, the Xavs still well out in front. 13-10-88. 4.5 minutes gone in the final quarter for Domo Insurance.
2 down, 54 to go.
It's like the bottles on the wall.
Yes, and we've got a little break in play here because I think no one's gone and got the ball for the Xavs player. Yep. So we see that Uni Blues have kicked back. They're 4-3-27 trailing St Bernard's 6-11-47. So still a 20-point deficit there.
Do you know how many of those Stewart has kicked?
Oh, we'll have a look around the ground. He's kicked 2 so far. So that's going to not help him in ton watch.
No, he needed a few more than that. It's not a very good kick. And here's Tommy Ferguson, who is just going to let fly from 50 here. On
he actually is a big kick, Ferguson.
Angle. Yes. Wasn't a great kick in from Will Goss, who's been very good on return today for the Xavs. Tom Ferguson, 8 games this season. He's had his health issues, so it's good to see him back out there.
All the Blues have kicked another one.
5 goals. Oh, that's going to be really stressful for Steve Alessio. Ferguson goes from 50, got very close to the man on the mark, and as a result, it's forced the kick wide, and it's gone out of bounds on the full. So the score remains unchanged. 5.5 into this final term, thanks to Domo Insurance. That's 13-10-88. St Kevin still 5-4-34.
Ferguson was one of those boys who went up and played in Queensland at Bond Uni on the, they got the Nick Rewalt scholarship up there. There's been a few players that have gone up there and then returned to Victoria a couple of seasons ago. Xavs went to the outer side. They gave it over, and then St Kevin's gave it straight back, and now we're tied up right at the arc at right half forward for the Scobbers, who are doing all the attacking here really in the last quarter.
They did that last quarter too, didn't they?
Yeah. Hanson handball away to his teammate Stavro. Has not been as proficient or effective as he was when these two met here at Toorak Park last year. Stavro 39 disposals that day, 7 clearances. 3 votes on his way to winning the second Woodrow medal. Hurried kick forward out of the scrimmage there from the Scobbers. Picks up about 30 metres before going out of bounds in the right forward pocket.
So Xavs wouldn't be too concerned about this because there's nothing really convincing about St Kevin's entries or the way they've moved the ball. And Xavs have got all the answers at the moment. They're just holding and waiting, and they'll get a clear possession and probably try and exit.
So nearly 7 minutes gone here in this final term, thanks to Domo Insurance. Coates again beating Spralia, punches it towards goal, and Angus Hart was there at full forward. He tried to tap it back in. Dunn is just happy to see that one over the line, and it's just a bit of byplay there. It's only a rush behind at the end of it though. 5-5 plays, 13-10.
We wait the ball to be brought back into play by Will Goss. His last kick in was a shocker, but overall he's been pretty good. Upon return, comes to the near side this time with the kick in. Fisher. Some of these big guns for the Xavs are just trying to find their best form as September comes into view. Mackay Zach, good spoil by Andriski. He's probably taken the points today, Andriski. Coates, he got the handball from Hodges, high up and under. Oh, Fennelly had his own teammates spoil him. But plenty of reinforcements back here for the red and black. Goss and Brosnahan back to Goss. And now Tom Dunn right down below us at right half back for the Xavs. Great kick up to Westcott, who comes out and marks out in front of Marnie. 88 plays 35. 8-minute mark, final term for Domo Insurance. Xavs are on their way to locking up second spot. Did that go 15?
The umpire said it did.
Think so.
And the mark paid for Woodhouse. He twists the share in his fingers. And then a left foot kick up to the brink of the 45. Andriski makes the spoil again. Pfeiffer toe poked it accidentally on purpose. And Dolman, long kick down to half forward. But again, they've got all the numbers back here, the Xavs. Goss and Hart and Whitehead. And all the way back here for Tom Dunn, who's going to send the footy towards the outer side.
He does, and it's a good kick too to Connor Dunn. So Dunn's combining nicely. Now he's lane between wing and half back. Just continues to find the football as Campbell Lane. up the line, looking for Stavry, went over his head, and that's going to go out of play. Lasso free kick.
It's an interesting back line with the Xavs, Hugo, isn't it? Because you look at them, they don't really have the big hulking key position guys, but they're just so hard to get a kick on.
Very unassuming, but the key behind that is Thomas Hart. He sort of plays on the bigger guys, but he's the one who also comes off and a great intercepting mark. And they're very good ball users from that back half of the ground.
It's come now here for Gill. It was a good fly in the air there from Cameron a few moments ago. The hand pass looking for Gunst and missed him. Guiney now has room to run out of the fence, hits Stavro up down the line, had a bit of a fumble but has time to give it to Campbell Lane. Up towards half forward. Pushed under it there was McIsaac. Well done, Edwards. Gave it back to Phillips. And now Jones has got it. Swivels onto the right boot. Belts it down the line. Coates flew, and that's not going to be paid a mark. It comes out the back now. Here's a chance for St Kevin's. Cameron around the body in towards Kerr, who marks inside 50. Doug Kerr can line up. Not much of an angle to speak of. 40 metres out and try and kick the quarter's first goal.
No, really good passage of play by St Kevin's there. A bit of forward handball, and Kerr managed to get a little bit of time and space. And so one of the better entries we've seen for St Kevin's for the day. Now, here's the thing. He needs to convert this, doesn't he?
Yes.
We've just seen so many of these sort of opportunities that have failed to make the distance or fall short. So he needs to take responsibility with his kicking in front of goal.
Normally very good in front of goal, Doug Kerr. Steps inside the paint now. Sets Alva home. He's pushed it out to the left a little bit, but I think it's just snuck in. Yes, it has.
Well done.
Doug Kerr with his second goal of the day. And at last, we've got our first of the final term, and it goes the way of St Kevin's, who've been good in this final quarter. 10.5 gone on the Domo Insurance scoreboard. 6-5-41 on Xavs, still 13-10-88. Domo are an Australian tech insurance brokerage established in 2024, offering a wide variety of insurance services. Visit www.domoinsure for further details. Former SKOB Vice President John Paul Whitbread is the company founder, and the CEO is past player. Well done.
Well done, Matty. That's a long read, that one. He's going to be an important player for them, Doug Kerr, as they close in on this finals appearance, the Scobbers. I know we've been a bit down on them today because they're going to go down. They are coming out of the middle here, but Kerr's coming in for a big September. I can just taste it. Well done, Hart, taking the intercept mark, and if he didn't take it, Fennelly would have. The guy who takes the number one key forward every week. Out to the near side. Oh, terrific. Mark Guiney.
He's starting to insert himself in the game a little bit, Guiney. Cooper might be having a chat to him after.
Went up and kicked a goal earlier on today. He kicked into the player on the mark there.
So you give him a rap and they let you down every time.
Hodges, they did turn it over there, the Xavs. Slams his way through, or thought about handballing it, and then did. Went to no one really. Stavro, Delaney, handball in tight. Hanson did it well out to Westcott. And he just chips his kick up to half forward, and Woodhouse grabs it. Not just the required distance. Woodhouse swings onto that left foot, puts it in towards the heart of the 50. They all descend upon Seston. Oh, well done, Phillips. The blind turn to get out of traffic. Saunders and Jones, and back to Saunders. That's not going to quite reach Dolman, and Woodhouse has got the footy again with an intercept mark.
He goes with a kicking board to Charlie Westcott now. Still got 2 kicks from home. He's going to try and hit up a lead in the forward pocket. Not a great kick. And Dolman receives the hand pass now. He wasn't really expecting it, and he's rushed the disposal as a result. And a good follow-up tackle on Woodhouse that time from Matheson. Brent, you mentioned the Xavs backline a couple of minutes ago. They've got Alex Trigar, who's that hulking fullback. He's still to come back in. He got through the reserves today. He won't be too far away. Well, just about have all the pieces back. Fly from Hart went very early. Didn't actually get hands on it in the end. Goss back to Lane. And now Dunn back to Goss again. He's in the centre of the ground now. He doesn't really know where to go. Eventually finds himself enough time and finds Tom Hart on the wing, broadcast side.
He's a great user, Will Goss, but he has no left boot. We just learnt that there.
The Hart's going to go down the line. Coming in from the side there was Phillips to affect the spoil. Matheson's hand pass charged down and very close to the boundary line and goes over. Scouting notes thanks to Brent Sternberg.
Well, the sting's gone into it, hasn't it?
It certainly has.
We can say that.
Certainly has. They're both, look, Xavs have gone into a little bit of a holding pattern. They're doing just enough at the moment. And St Kevin's players, I'm not really impressed with their body language a little bit. Even though they're down by a lot, you still want to show some fight, which they certainly are, but it's just not the up and about which you want to see.
Ball threatens to go back out of bounds. Lane kept it in. Scrambles the kick inside 50, marked by Delamitra of St Kevin's, who races away and kicks in towards the middle. Dolman. Bit of dare here for the Scobbers. Matheson's kick. It trundles up through the centre of the ground and eventually was taken by Whitehead. Expansive handball to the outer side. Brusnahan. And now Connor Dunn. Long left foot kick inside 50. McIsaac! Stunning.
Yes.
Stunning mark.
Definitely a contender. Thanks, Brucey. We forgot about that one.
Buttons, Bruce, yes.
Well, mark of the day for 40 wings. I was a little bit asleep at the wheel there.
Yes.
But, yes, mark of the day, absolutely.
He might have the double mark and goal today.
Yes.
He did really well because Andruski's played fantastic on him today. Hasn't given him any time and space. Well, rarely. And this is one of the rare occasions he has. Because if you give him a metre when he can just get that run at the ball without any physical contact, he's a very strong mark. Let's see if he kicks through the ball, Matty, if he pulls back and has that high ball drop here.
He's 25 metres from goal, just away to the left. He's kicked through Charlie McIsaac. That's a better looking kick.
Absolutely.
You want to get everything in order as we head towards September. McIsaac kicks his 4th goal. 56 goals on the season now. He's not going to win the league leading goal kicker award unless James Stewart falls over. But he's had a great season nonetheless, and there'll be a spot for him in the team of the year. Hugo, I would have thought, Charlie McIsaac.
I would imagine so. I'll be putting my email together pretty soon, sending it to Jason Bennett. We'll be the last of that every year. But he's a very important player. I think there'll be room for him up there in the forward line of the team of the year, once again.
I don't know. Well, it depends. How many key forwards are we running with, Hugo?
There'll be 2 on the bench probably, so you say about 7 or 8.
The back in the middle again. Cooper in the ruck against Spralia. What's Spralia doing there? He's still pulled up a little lane there. Have a watch of this again in this contest. He wins the hit out that time, Spralia, and nonchalantly flicks it back. Pfeiffer with the clearance. Scrubby kick up towards half forward. Oh, good contest between Dunn and Ferguson. Dunn did well, gave it to Spralia. Feeds the hand pass out now to Fish. It's a great hand pass, but Fish has got plenty of time to retrieve it. Give the hand pass back to Tom Hart, who goes with a searching kick down the line. It's going to bounce inside the play now. Is it the last disposal? It is. Wanganeen got a hand to it, but the ball had already crossed the line. George Delamitra, Footscrewless and VFL player, to take the kick back in here. He's called to go now by the umpire, and he's just about spins away from Wanganeen. He hand passes to himself, Delamitra. He got 2 for the price of 1 there.
You learned that in the Whitton Oval.
He gets it to Edwards, who's caught.
He has been very good today, though, Delamitra. I've liked his game in the back half of the Scobbers.
He's seen a bit of it.
Spralia tapped onto the boot of Marnie there, and it's bounced up here for Cooper. Gives it across now to Gunson. High up and under kick is just out on the floor.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Very close.
The umpire in front of it wasn't doing anything. I was wondering what he's doing.
Yeah,
but he's actually the field umpire. The boundary umpire was back up the field.
What's the field umpire doing on the boundary line?
53 points, the Xavs lead. Campbell Lane brings it back into play. Midway stages, final quarter for Domo Insurance. Ethan Phillips intercepts almost unimpeded there in the middle of the pack. Backwards here for Delamitra, right alongside the edge of the centre square. Towards Ferguson rather, on the outer side. And the Scobbers slowly. Ferguson testing the patience of the umpire. Crafts his kick inside. 50! And Doug Kerr...
I got pushed.
Has a free kick. He went a mile early with the leap. The umpire said he was pushed.
Paid the push. Well,
he's got to take his watching to get repaired because it is well out of time at the moment.
That fly deserves...
it's a fly of the day.
Fly of the day. We're going to send that to Senchi, actually. What are we? 17 minutes into the last. You've got to see the fly.
That's
to end up with the ball.
That's a bit
amazing.
of a concern, though, because he's not timed his leaps well at all today. He's probably done that nearly half a dozen times.
Yeah, he hasn't played a lot of footy recently. He's been away, so that time will come. But he's been good for him up forward today, Dougie. So that's a highlight of my day, that.
First game since round 8 against Old Haileybury. He's right in front, Doug Kerr. He shouldn't have any problems. He doesn't. And he drives through goal number 3. The margin just shrinks a little bit now, back to 47. I think that'll be when they flash the score back up. And it's now, because they've put the cue in the rack a little bit here, the Xavs, the scoreboard is starting to flash at St Kevin's a little bit. With the way this game is running out.
It is, but don't worry. Xavs have been in command for a majority of the day, and don't forget this is a 2v3 clash, so St Kevin's would want to show a bit of pride here, which they are, which is good, getting some scores on the board, and he's probably lucky, Doug Kerr, to get that free kick there, but
Well, he's been solid enough on return. You'd take 3 goals on return at the start of the day if you're Doug Kerr.
And they've only kicked 7 for the day, absolutely.
So restarting again, Dunn, caught by Hodges. Wouldn't let him go, Cam Hodges. It's a restart. St Kevin's worked it forward by about 10 metres. Spralia feints on against Cooper. He's caught by Mansfield and do it all again. 14-10-94 to 7-5-47. They're nearly doubling their score again, Hugo.
They are, thanks, Petchy.
Buttons Bruce all over that. He's been a good statistician for us in this last term.
No,
Keeping it honest with the numbers.
Valuable member of the crew.
Wouldn't be on air without him.
No.
Go about that. Coates, Ganji was there, dispossessed. Hodges got clear of the forward of the stoppage. Spears a kick up to half forward. Great pass. I thought Darmody could have been paid the mark there. The umpire wave play on. Then Pfeiffer follows up. He crashes into Dunn. Ball's close to the line, but it hasn't gone over, and it will instead be tossed up just outside 50 here for St Kevin's. 14-10-94 plays 7-5-47. Nearly ticked at a time on here. Perdomo Insurance in this final term. It's going to be a big win for the Xavs. This will all but guarantee them a double chance heading into the finals this year. They'll go 2 games clear with 2 to play and a healthy percentage boost to boot.
Absolutely, and at Unimain Oval, it's a 10-point margin to St Bernard's, 22 minutes into the last quarter. 37 plays 47, St Bernard's way.
Perhaps the minor premiership is not yet done for the Xavs either. There's still a bit to go in that one. It's not done just yet. Saunders weaves his way out of trouble. The hand pass didn't go very far. He follows up again here. Jed Saunders has a bit of space here. Now can he hit up a lead inside 50? Kick goes over the head of Darmody, lands in towards full forward. Good attack on the play there from Whitehead across to Guiney. He goes with a kick out of there and he finds Charlie Knott between wing and half back. And he wants to loop a hand pass over the top to Goss. He had no time to gather possession. He flicked it on intelligently for Stavrou. He goes back to Goss, and on the right foot this time, Brent, up towards half forward, and now Delaney's got it. Still too far out to score. He's going to wheel and go. Ed Delaney spears it in towards the pocket for McIsaac. Good spoil from Andruski. That was a tough attempt. And then Matheson's caught in a strong tackle and has locked things up. I tell you what, has been a good battle, that one, Andruski and McIsaac. Yeah. McIsaac's kicked 4, but Andruski's not disgraced himself.
No, and that battle went for a little bit longer then. They were having words then. Isaac and Andruski.
Lane, a hurried kick from the scrimmage, goes to full forward. And will take it at full back by Andruski, who gets the handball away quickly. Saunders, that was Jones a moment ago, and now it's Phillips on the last line. We are into time on in the final term. 14-10 plays 7-5. Xavs on their way to a big late season victory here over one of their fellow finals combatants. Oh, dropping the mark on the outer side there was Stavrou. Goss didn't go for the footy. Pfeiffer did and took it. Handball out in front of Cameron, who just lost his footing. Ferguson approaches the 45 arc. He's got 2 options to kick through. It went straight through the hands of Kerr, and it races out into the pocket. And the first one there to retrieve it was Guiney, and he kicks up towards the centre wing position. Over the boundary line and out of bounds upon the fall.
Are we thinking of a Skins play of the day, gents, or are we going to leave it up to Cooper to decide for us?
Well, I was going to say Guiney's been very good until he kicked it out on the full then. But, well, for mine it'd be between Campbell Lane and Guiney. They've racked up bulk possessions. Charlie McIsaac has been good, kicking 4, but we might leave it up to Coop out of those 3.
I think that's a fair enough call.
Yeah, he's got the he can do the Ross Glendenning for the Ross Glendenning Award and just pick whoever he wants.
Just focus on Doug Kerr there. He leapt early again and he's just limping a little bit in the aftermath of that kick inside 50 at full forward at the moment. Ball's here on the half-forward flank. Coates with a kick off the deck. Lands fortuitously here for Ferguson. Great tackle from Goss. He read the fake. And then he wouldn't let him go, holding the ball.
He's been very good down there today, Goss, too. I know he hasn't got a left foot, but doesn't need one.
What a welcome addition he's been. Yeah. Xavs back 6. He and Guiney.
No, he's our man.
He's our man. He may well do the double. Campbell Lane up towards half forward. McIsaac again. Oh, no, mate. He was furious with it, Charlie McIsaac. Demanding the mark from the umpire. Play on's the call. St Kevin's have worked this one up by hand up towards half forward. Stavrou's caught by a couple of scobbers. And the umpire says, give it to me.
I think he's probably got fair reason to be because...
he had 4/5 of that.
Yeah, and he's had his arms chopped to the letter of the law there.
Hansen got a hand pass away as far as Hodges. He's kick inside 50, looking for Darmody.
Oh.
He's worried out of it though. Igani has been excellent today. Hugo.
He has.
He's making a late play, I think, on Campbell Lane. Ganji now's got it on the back flank. He has a bounce. There's a spearing kick up the line to Seston, who was tremendous early. And he stopped there and was caught by Matheson. Holding the ball, the free kick goes the way of St Kevin's. Here's Andriski. Goes towards half forward, looking for Cooper. He fought on. He tried to take on a couple of Xavs. Marnie crashing through. He provides a good contest there, and the umpire calls for it inside 50 for St Kevin's.
For the Xavs, it's been a day for their foot soldiers today, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
A lot of their sort of second tier and third tier guys have been their better players.
Yeah, their bottom 10 have been fantastic today.
Marnie from the stoppage for St Kevin's. He goes looking for Kerr, a bump ball, and Fennelly, the first responder to the ground ball, off to Guiney outside the defensive 50. Not flew alone against three Scobbers and then got there at ground level to lay the tackle on Gunson. Well done, Charlie Knott. He'll get a free kick here for holding the ball. Terrific second effort there, Charlie Knott, and he's one of those guys that I'm thinking about.
Yeah, well, definitely, because you know what you're going to get from your top 8 players. They're going to give you a winning performance for them each week. You know Campbell Lane's going to have 30 plus each week, isn't he? Fisher's going to have 10 clearances. The guys that will kick a couple even if he has a bad day, which I'm not saying he's had a bad day. Hard to be very good down there, but it's the lesser lights. And your bottom 8 win you your grand finals. Not that I'm doing a Simon Peach and going early for them, but your bottom 8, 10 are very important.
Xavs have it here on the last line of defence after they initially had kicked it out of bounds on the full after that Knott free kick. Hart deep in the right back pocket. Still a 47-point margin in favour of the red and black. Up towards Knott again, who again has to try and provide a contest, but this time Gunson doubling back. Takes a brave grab. Handball to Matheson. Another bad kick inside 50 and Goss gets the intercept mark. So what does a loss like this for St Kevin's? It's not really going to look that bad actually on the scoreboard in the end. But what does a loss right on the eve of September do to a team like this?
Yeah, it's probably more above the shoulders, to be realistic. I mean, Plugger will be disappointed he's not going to get a chance to finish in the top 2. And I believe that you have to finish in the top 2 to win the grand final. I still think it's too hard with the format to not win it from that point. But bear in mind, it's really a fabulous marking attempt by Charlie McIsaac. Bear in mind, they're probably deficient at the moment in their forward half. So we saw the running club before the game, which was their forwards that are coming back in the next few weeks, Kaczynski and a few others, Tucker.
Saunders with a kick inside 50, and he's found dominant space. That was a great bit of play from Dillamitru. Sorry, Hugo, with the chain 3 times up the boundary to set all that up. And they found a bit of space as a result, and now here's Archie Dolman with a chance to kick his second.
The numbers will be very interesting today. If I was Plugger and the crew down there, Marnes, I'd be looking at where they've been beaten the most, and I think it's probably been in clearance, to be quite honest. I think that's where it's given them... I'll be disappointed with forward defensive pressure for the majority of the day. It's been few and far between the efforts, whereas Xav's forward defensive pressure has been pretty consistent all day.
Dolman comes in from 40 metres out, and that is right through the middle. Good finish from Archie Dolman. His second goal of the day. St Kevin's 8th. 8-5-53. Plays 14-10-94 on the Domo Insurance scoreboard. There's only minutes to go in this final term. And we might go round the grounds for Marshall White. Hugo, what have you got?
Well, 29 minutes gone in the final quarter at Uni Main Oval. Uni Blues 5-7-37, trailing St Bernard's 6-12-48. That is massive. That is massive.
It's not done yet, but I tell you what, you reckon they're almost there, the Snow Dogs.
41 points here at Toorak Park. Scobbers coming forward again. It's a rainmaker over a kick from Coates. No one able to get a hold of it in the air. Goss overruns it. Picked up by Darmody. And his kick goes out of bounds on the full. Touched on the boot, so not out of bounds on the full. And the kids race into the creek to retrieve the Tom Willis Sherrin. When they do retrieve it, it'll be thrown in deep in the right forward pocket for St Kevin's.
Hugo, the other thing you mentioned about being above the shoulders for St Kevin's, they're now 0-4 against the Xavs and the Tunners this year.
Yeah,
they beat the Uni Blues in the only game that they've played early this season, but to win the flag, they've got to beat one of Xavs or Brighton at some point, and they haven't done it this year.
Yeah, well, who do they play in the final round? Is it St Kevin's and...
I think it's St Kevin's and Blues.
Yeah, that'll be a very interesting one, because they should have all their troops back by then. But there's some concerns I have about some performances today.
Shallow throw in. Delaney trying to take it on the bounce. Cameron went off the ground once and twice, and I tell you what, it's only just gone the wrong side of the sticks. St Kevin's 8-6-54, trailing the old Xavs 14-10-94. The X-Men away to Old Haileybury next week, and then at home to the Scotchies. St Kevin's away to Old Trinity, and then, in the final round, that big clash against the Blues.
I don't know if Will Goss has got a right foot either, because that one's just gone out of bounds on the full.
Can I just say, he does have a left boot, but he doesn't kick with it.
Poor old Will Goss. He's been the whipping boy for you blokes today.
This is going to be awkward if he's the player of the game.
Liam Gunson has the free kick. He goes from outside 50. The breeze is drawing that back. Oh, it's hit the post. Jeez, he caught it really well, Gunson. It almost drew back enough, but just into the woodwork on the way through. 8-7 plays, 14-10. Dermo Insurance scoreboard. 29.5 gone. And there is the siren to round it out. What a statement from the Xavs. They all but lock up a top 2 spot. A double chance and look primed to challenge again in 2026. 14-10-94 to 8-7-55. They've had a big win against St Kevin's this afternoon.
Yeah, that's a statement, Matty. That is an absolute statement. What it showed today is their system and their structures really hold up. I'm really impressed with a few performances today. Campbell Lane, Nick Guiney, Thomas Hart. So it's winners all over the ground. And for St Kevin's, there's some guys who tried hard. Billy Coates was very good all day. But I just think it's the way. You don't have to beat the Xavs' best players. You have to beat the Xavs system, which is what we found today. So that was very, very impressive performance. Fisher was very good for them. That was a very, very, very good performance.
Fennelly down back.
Oh, yes, Fennelly.
Charlie Knott, really important player for them.
Yeah, no, he tied one on today, Knott. So he's an important part of that forward line as well. And they don't have the big keys up forward aside from Charlie McIsaac. I mean, Ed Delaney tries hard, but there's no real massive names.
Yeah.
But a great spread of goal kickers. What did they have today?
While you count that, Hugo, Old Xavs led by 19 points at quarter time. They led by 40 at the half. 56 at three-quarter time, and then in the end, 14-10-94 to 8-7-55. A 39-point win in the end. St Kevin's winning the final term 3-5 to 1 straight. The goal kickers, Charlie McIsaac with 4, Ollie Seston with 3, Julian Ganji with 2, and then singles to Charlie Knott, Ed Delaney, Sam Fisher, Alex Spralia, and Nick Guiney for St Kevin's. 3 to Doug Kerr, 2 to Jack Darmody and Archie Dolman, and then 1 to Will Cooper. And we will head down now to ground level because we've got our Skins player of the game, Pioneers of Compression. It is the most coveted cap in the game, and I'm just trying to see. I've got Cooper Watkins. He's ready to go.
Yeah, I've got Campbell with me, which he was just telling me that he doesn't think he deserves this. But you guys were talking about him all afternoon. Campbell, obviously, big game with these, the rivalry as well as just trying to get top 2. What did you make of the performance?
It was a really strong performance, to be honest, mate. We had a bit of a rough patch for about 4 weeks. In the middle of the year, we weren't playing our best footy. Really turned a corner the last couple of weeks, and it was a really big performance, really big game for staff as well, so good to get the chop.
And I was going to touch on that, obviously a big game for that reason as well. I remember Dan talking in the pre-game about he wouldn't make it about himself and that sort of thing, even though it was a big achievement. Sort of just touch on him and what he is to your football club.
Yeah, I think we've touched on him all week. He's one of the greats of the football club over the whole history. He's just an unbelievable player, unbelievable person, and we're so lucky to have him.
Thanks for that, Campbell. Appreciate it.
Thank you for that there, Cooper. And for Campbell Lane, the Skins player of the game, the Pioneers of Compression. He gets to wear the cap and he gets to pose with the laminated piece of paper, and that's going to go up all across the socials, and it's going to happen for the second time against St Kevin's this season. Campbell Lane has done the double over St Kevin's player of the match way back in round 1. And he's done it again late in the season, Hugo.
Yes, there's always a bit of a bias from the commentary box for Campbell Lane. He's an absolute superstar for them. Very important player, goes under the radar a lot, but a lot of credit given to Marcus Stavrou for his 100th game today, which you really like to see players of that ilk playing big numbers for clubs, and he's a very important part as well for them moving forward. So what a performance today. What a performance.
Didn't have a lot of time to talk about Stavrou during the game because he was sort of in and out of it, but
he probably still had 30.
We'll have a look at I wish we could get the Premier data.
We get that during the finals, which is good.
Right, okay. Yes. Hope I'm a part of that. 4-time best and fairest winner at the X-Men, 2-time Woodrow medalist. He's been in the team of the year every season this decade. I mean, there's a case to be made. This guy's the best player.
Including the seasons where we didn't have a season?
21, 2, 3, 4 and 5.
Okay.
He may not... I'm not sure if he'll get in this year just because he sort of had the injury at the start of the season. You think he'll still be in? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so. Six in a row, but just a living legend.
Maybe if you're if you've got to email the team together, we might try and get you on the committee there, Brent. This is the post-match thanks to Salt Financial, offering services across accounting, tax, financial planning, insurance, business consulting and SMSF. Salt is a great SKOB sponsor and is led by Steve Landers, who is a SKOB past player. Visit saltfinancialgroup.com.au. Let's get the Game Day Awards out of the way first and foremost. The mark of the day, thanks to 40 Wings Paran, Fitzroy and South Wharf. Not a day for the high flyers. From a Doug Kerr perspective, certainly a day for the early flyers.
Yes.
But did anyone take a mark of note?
There was nothing too dramatic, actually, to be quite honest, that comes to my mind. We've got Coop here's come up with as well.
There was, I can't recall who it was that took it, maybe in the third quarter. Someone went back with the flight just on that outer side wing. I don't know if you...
Yeah,
that's one of those ones where... that's the only one I can think of. As you said, there's an early flyer, but that's about it.
The only one I had jotted down was in the last term, Charlie McKaiser.
Yeah, the one down
in the pocket.
Yeah, that was good. I remember Ed Delaney was very good going back with the flight.
Yes,
so that was a brave.
The second term.
So we'll give it to Ed Delaney. Doesn't get much up there. He's always
Charlie, you get it every other week.
Yes, he gets everything, Charlie. So.
Family-owned bedding specialist with the widest range of mattresses and bedroom furniture, featuring bed match technology to help you choose a new bed. Contact past SKOB player and current parent David Williams. What about the goal of the day for Gorman Commercial? Melbourne's commercial property.
We can do this by committee because I'm always used to Simon Petch coming over the top of me and telling me that it's not goal of the day. But I think it was Alex Spralia. That long bomb from outside the arc.
Yes,
Paddy.
It was a long bomb from outside the arc.
You can tweet that and hashtag it bloody good.
Yes, it was. Because there weren't any that really spring to mind that was fantastic. Oh, actually,
McIsaac's the first goal of the game. Because he had to really get the purchase on it and screwed it around the body and kicked it quite high and stuck it through to get the Xavs underway.
Yes, anyone who screws it around the body and sticks it through, my vote. Even though we don't like him being kicked like that. Yeah, the Charlie McIsaac got an agency here as well.
General play, it's okay.
Yes, correct.
Melbourne's commercial property leader. Now, round the grounds for Marshall White. My goodness, we have to unpack this, Hugo.
Absolutely.
Should we save the best for last? Let's hold off on University Oval. Let's go everywhere else first. Okay, well, another statement game. Old Brighton, 1918, 132 over Old Haileybury, 9-6-60. Now, that has two ramifications there. Brighton have said, hey, fellas, don't forget about us. Yeah. We're still here. And Old Haileybury in the drop zone, and that will have a massive effect on their percentage when we get to the ladder. And then another little bit of a statement in that relegation hunt as well. Old Scotch, 18-126, defeated Caulfield Grammarians, 14-8-92. So that Scotch mathematically, they're still not safe, but you would say they're pretty much safe. Yeah,
exactly. Uni Blacks in the same sort of boat as Scotch there, 15-8-98. Old Trinity 5-12-42, and we know the result here. And at Uni Main Oval, which is the conditions may have played into effect there, but I'm not 100% sure. We haven't seen any footage from there yet. So Uni Blues 5-7-37. Were defeated by St Bernard's 6-13-49.
Well, that's the upset of the year.
Yes.
So let's get that out of the way first.
How many times throughout the years would the bottom place side have beaten the top place side at this time of the season?
Well, it happened last week in B. Not quite B.
Second. Last v second.
Yeah, last v second.
So Collegians are almost in a different division at the moment.
Yeah, correct. They're in their own division. But they're the best at this time of year, the Snow Dogs, aren't they? They just pop up.
I remember last year, the penultimate game of the season, they played Old Haileybury at home. Old Haileybury were fourth.
Yeah.
And St Bernard's were in the bottom two. And they won by about 80 points. It was a dominant display.
Well, they did beat St Kevin's out there last year, but St Kevin's rested 13 players.
Yeah, so for me, the win against Old Haileybury was a lot more impressive because Old Haileybury had something to play for. They still had to try and lock in a final spot.
Correct.
And the Snow Dogs were playing for their lives, whereas St Kevin's... Well, they've taken their foot off the gas by virtue of the fact they rested pretty much their entire side.
Yeah.
They could do it again, the Snow Dogs.
Yes.
They do it again.
So
have you got the ladder for us there for Author Sport Victoria? Has that updated for you?
It has, yeah. So still on top, Uni Blues with a percentage of 148.
And it's dropped by about 3.
Yes. on equal points, so they're both on 52 points with Old Xavs, and a percentage of 142. So that's getting closer together there. So we're only playing for bragging rights, realistically.
It's only gone up by 1.5 Xavs percentage
so
today.
Not enough. St Kevin's standalone third on 44 points with a percentage of 126. Old Brighton rounding out the 4 on 40 points with a percentage of 120. And a long way back to them, Scotch, on 28 points with a percentage of 93. So I'm going to call them safe out of the relegation zone.
2 games clear and 16%.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty good. Uni Blacks, 1 game back there on 24, but with a healthy percentage of 94. Yeah. The concerning ones are Caulfield Grammar on 22 points with a percentage of 81. Trinity on 22 points with a percentage of 76. Haileybury, 20 with a percentage of 74, and St Bernard's 16 with a percentage of 76. So interesting stuff to come, fellas.
Question for Hugo, if I can jump in quickly. Hugo, if you're the coach of one of either Old Xaverians, St Kevin's or Old Brighton, how forensically are you having a look at that St Bernard's win today over the Blues to see what they did?
Absolutely, you would. You'd study every little facet. So there are a few things that I would be thinking about as well is, has Matt Smith decided to raise the training load heading into the finals? I haven't had a close look at their team list today to see whether they rested any. But yeah, you'd be wondering how they do. Now, the Snow Dogs results over the last month have been pretty good. They've narrowly been defeated by, I think, Xavs. They've had some really close results against some high-end teams. So on the award-winning For the Love of the Game podcast, we have been saying for a few weeks that they're looking like they're going to take a scalp.
Yeah.
And mate, this is it.
Did we have anybody on that game?
No, we only did KTV today.
No, what a missed opportunity.
Yeah, no, that was... but, I mean, we sort of talk about we said that if the Snow Dogs were going to survive, they had to pull off a miracle, really, against one of Uni Blues and Old Brighton. Well, they got that miracle.
Yes.
They're still alive, remarkably. As we look at the ladder now, thanks to Authors Sport... Oh, you mentioned it.
I think we just did.
No, you did. No, I just wanted to have a look at exactly where St Bernard sit in the grand scheme of things. There's still a game and a half away, though. That Old Trinity Caulfield draw might prove quite costly indeed, because really they...
Well, a saviour for them, possibly.
Yeah,
for
those two, yeah. Because St Bernard's faced Old Trinity in the last game of the season. So there's one win that they can make off them.
Where is that?
That's going to be at the Snake Pit, I believe.
Oh, no.
So...
I can see what's going to happen here. We're going out there, aren't we?
It means that next week they have to beat Old Brighton. But that's also at the Snake Pit. And St Bernard's playing for their lives. We always say this, but there's truth to it.
Yeah.
If they go and knock over Old Brighton and St Kevin's beat Old Trinity, which you probably would expect that to be the case, then it's going to be all or nothing at the Snake Pit. Whoop.
There you go.
That could be...
Well, VFL finishes this
week.
week.
The mouth over that one.
You are, Matty. VFL finishes this weekend, so they'll have every player available subject to injury, obviously. So that is very interesting as well.
We'll go around the grounds as well for Prem B. Collegians' massive win against Williamstown CYMS, 129 points the final score.
Huge.
23-15, 153 to 3-6-24. Surely someone has kicked a bag. No, they've shared them around. Sam Parsons and Scott Bilby each kicked 4 for the Lions. Ajax, huge win over Old Camberwell. 35.5 gone in the final term, so Siren not too far away from sounding. 15-10, 100 to 11-8, 74. De La Salle, we've got back to winning ways over... Oh, you're not going to like this one, Hugo. 14-10, 94 to 10-17, 77. Bo Morris, a 17-point win there for De La over an inaccurate Sharks. Old Kerry, my goodness, where's this one come from? 16-10, 110, or 16-14, 110 to 14-7, 91. The Panthers kicked 7 goals to 2 in the final term to win by 19 points in that match. That's a phenomenal win from them, and that might just about secure the bottom 2 in terms of the relegation battle.
I picked them. Back to the tips.
You probably did. Well, I mean, and then Old Melburnians just held on against Old Ivanhoe, 10-10, 70 to 8-16, 64.
Well, I picked Ivanhoe in that, so...
Yeah.
I believe that's the last game up there at Ivanhoe's home ground, because there's a redevelopment happening.
At Chelmsworth Park.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll have to follow that one up. The ladder hasn't quite updated yet, but with 2 games to go, Old Geelong, in terms of the relegation battle, Old Geelong are 2 games and 22% clear of Williamstown CYMS. So Old Ivanhoe will be relegated.
Yep.
Williamstown are virtually relegated.
Okay.
They've got to make up way too much of a percentage gap. So our bottom two is confirmed for Prem C next season. At the other end of the table, I'm just going to make sure it's all updated here. So Collegians, they're still out in front. De La Salle, Old Melburnians, and Ajax. De La Salle and Old Melburnians are on 9 wins, so they're in second and third. Ajax have gone from 7th to 4th. Old Carey, remarkably, climbed into the... No, because it's not updated for me.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I'm enjoying this.
So, Collegians, De La, Old Melburnians, Ajax have moved up to 4th off the back of today's win. Old Camberwell are in 5th alongside Beau Morris. Old Carey sit in 7th, and they've leapfrogged Old Geelong, who are in 8th. But as we say, they are one game off the top 4 still, Old Geelong, with 2 to play. They're 2 games clear of the bottom 2. So we've got our bottom 2 going down to Prem C, Williamstown, CIMS, and Old Ivanhoe. And it's
all right.
Taken until round 16 for that to happen. And obviously both of those are now officially out of the race for finals. So we've gone from 1 team out of it to 2.
Okay.
In the space of a week, Hugo.
There you go. So things changing all the time. But here we've still got some live permutations that will be affected over the next few weeks in Premier Men's.
So let me ask you, and I like doing this, and Cooper and Brent, you guys are more than welcome.
Actually, just before you ask me, I've got a question for Coop. So what was the feeling like down there on the St Kevin's bench for the majority of the day? Were they up and about? Because obviously you float around between the two.
Yeah, no, it was really flat, especially, to be honest with you, just the ground level in the last quarter was, you would have felt it from up here, but it was so flat. It was just going through the motions. Like you saw, I was sitting sort of underneath the commentary box in most of that 4th quarter, and it was just... ball just sort of sticking around that sort of... I reckon Campbell Lane and a few of those other halfbacks just got it at will. It was just getting turned over and everything. It was really flat. There wasn't a lot of communication at all. There was a bit of Xavs boys, and even their bench were getting a bit frustrated at the end. You could tell, and just that Dan was probably wanting them to finish off. There was a lot of 3/4 time chat of 4 quarters, not 3, and that sort of thing. So probably a bit disappointed with that. But the St Kevin's side of things was very poor, especially and Plugger said that in that sort of at the end of the first quarter was, I felt like their first 10 minutes of that quarter was really good. Like they were on top, and then just after that it was just not a lot much else they had to offer really.
Possibly a bit shell shocked.
Well, we know Dan Donati is probably of the 10 coaches in the William Buck Premier. We speak to all of them. We all speak to them. He is a perfectionist, Dan Donati. I reckon he'll be disappointed with how that match finished. So they ended up winning the last quarter, St Kevin's, and they could have gotten a bit closer. They kicked 3 goals, 5 in the end. So the Xavs only kicked 1 goal. So it was a wire-to-wire victory. But in the end, we probably leave here saying, well, yes, but it wasn't a 4-quarter performance.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. So you always like to come away with some areas. There's always things you can improve on.
Yeah, and I think that was also, there was a lot to do with, I know it got cut out a little bit, but there was a lot to do with Stav with that as well, that they wanted to finish it off for him and cheer him off and everything like that. There was a lot, and you could see how hard they were playing for him for those first 3 quarters, but obviously just didn't finish it off.
So, Hugo, from a coach's point of view, in a contest like this one, where you've got the game wrapped up at 3-quarter time, you've got finals to look forward to, what's more important, playing out the game and getting a 4-quarter performance, or getting through it unscathed?
It's probably a blend of the two, to be honest, Matty. You want to make sure that you're finishing the game off in the right manner in terms that you're not taking any bad habits into the following week, but you will also, in the back of your mind, you'll have, we still have next week. You don't want to give the other side too much of a run at you in the last quarter because, funny things do happen in footy. But once you get to a certain point, about halfway through, you start in the back of your mind and you've got your hit list of players in your head, right, let's ice him. You go to that straight away because if someone's got a little bit of something, then you go back through it. And so, you get to that point where, okay, we've got this, and then you think of moving on.
And there probably was a little bit of that with McRae in that first quarter, in that, and I sort of didn't touch on it a lot, but as I said, he had run up and down 30 times in that sort of first quarter trying to test it out. So I think there was a bit of that where I don't know how bad that injury was, but it was a bit, they were going back and forth with the coaching staff about, should we get him back out there or just keep him on ice?
Yeah.
Because he genuinely tested it out about 20 times, spoke to a few of the assistants, spoke to Dan, went back, tried to run it out again, talking to the physio, and then they just put him on ice at the end.
Well, I wasn't privy to the conversations there, but I can guarantee it'd be, I think I can go.
Yeah.
And then they would have gone, what's the chances? Where is he at the moment? It might be very mild. They might be able to get him up for next week at this stage. Or worst case scenario, he's got to miss 1. Goes out there and does it. That's finals over for you. Because hamstrings, 3 to 4 weeks.
Probably a different conversation if it is a final.
Yeah, and high hamstrings are always concerning.
I was going to say that was the one thing I thought immediately it was very high, so they will probably not want to risk that.
Yeah.
I know we've got to go, but I just wanted to ask you, Hugo, on that. How?
We've got
8
minutes to go.
Plenty of time.
Okay, well, I'll just elongate this question here.
That's what we can waffle.
How do you think the Xavs will navigate these last 2 rounds with some of these guys that might be a bit banged up? Because it looks like they've stepped clear of St Kevin's now.
Yep.
Top 2, you like to win the minor premiership, of course, but really, there's not a
bragging
big...
rights, there's nothing.
First and second, there is no
difference. The only difference is white shorts.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
And you get the home rooms. So they'll play this one at Elstonwick Park, and the rooms are basically the same there, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But how will the Xavs navigate these last 2 weeks with these guys that we're talking about that are banged up, and we know that they've got some guys that are coming back? Would you feel inclined to maybe rest some guys?
It's a tough one there because you don't want to flirt. Well, I was never a coach who flirted with form. Yeah. I always tried to play the best team I possibly could each week. Bear in mind we get a week off between round 18 and the first final, so I'd be looking for that. I would still be trying to... What I'd be probably doing is managing minutes and roles on the ground. So just say you've got a banged-up midfielder, like Fisher looks a bit banged up to me, I'd probably play him 50, 75% forward and just, in case of emergency break glass, get him up there. So they're still getting the run in the legs, but you're not getting the bulk impacts. Like midfield's a hard position because it is bulk impacts. It's not like you're hiding on a half-forward flank or something like that where your first touch of the ball isn't generally going to be an impact touch. So you'd be looking at that. So I'd probably be manipulating on the ground. But there would be stages each week where I'd have best players in best position and go, right, are we able to execute how we want to? And then you pull back. Because don't forget, everyone's going to be looking at everyone now. So I'll have a few tricks up my sleeve.
Rapid fire, and feel free, you two, to jump in if you feel like there's a rapid fire question, like asking Hugo these. Has your premiership tip changed based on today's events?
I'm off the Blues. I'm back on Xavs.
Who's in second spot for you?
Still the Blues.
Okay. Those two will face off in the second semi-final, all but sure, in a few weeks' time.
Yep.
Who wins?
I actually think the Xavs do. My concern with the Blues is coming through to finals is you've got to get better in finals. I don't know whether they're very one-dimensional. Okay. You can't go in with the same game plan, the same system, because everyone's looked at each other so forensically that you know how we're moving forward.
St Kevin's Old Brighton first semi-final. Who wins?
Brighton.
Can I just jump in? It's likely that with the way that the fixture has fallen here, that the Xavs are playing Old Scott. Sorry, I was thought playing the Blues. Do you think that it changes things? Just back on the injuries, Hugo. I'm interrupting rapid fire here.
That's right.
Those guys that are trying to get this their form going coming into September, and yes, Ed Fisher's maybe a bit banged up. Keeping in mind that he and Stavrou have missed chunks of the season anyway, so does that complicate things in terms of getting them through to the finals at all?
No, they'll play. They'll play. It'll be managed minutes. I can't see too much of an issue with that. Bear in mind, if you finish top 2, you win your first game, you get another week off.
Yep.
Yeah. So you've got to have that in the back of your mind. These guys are professional. They should be able to get up every week.
Yeah.
Uni Blacks, Caulfield Grammarians, Old Trinity, Old Haileybury, St Bernard's, all within a game of relegation.
Yeah.
Which two go down?
I still think St Bernard's go down. I think they needed to win another one earlier because they've got that, the one-game margin still there.
Yeah, they've got Old Brighton and Old Trinity are their last 2 games of the season, both at the Snake Pit. If they win both of them, you would think that would just about be enough to get them out.
You would think so. Well, I can't see
But it requires them sort of winning 4 in a row, ultimately.
Yeah, I can't see them beating Brighton next week. The difference between Brighton and the Blues at the moment is the Blues have been on a sustained, really good run. So I was always wondering, could they sustain that? And this is a very hard competition to be able to do that. You only have to be off by 10% and you'll get rolled, which we probably saw today. I think they'll beat Trinity last round, the Snow Dogs.
Is Tunwatch on Dunwatch?
Yeah, I think it might have been after today. He needed to kick 6 or 7.
Yeah,
I don't think he's got
at least.
I don't think. And we saw today, Charlie McIsaac kicked 4 on one of the best defenders. So he's going to get the best defender every week during the finals. It gets harder because the finals are contested beasts.
Yeah, even if he gets a third final. So if you had St Kevin's beating Old Brighton and Old Xavs beating Uni Blues, who would you tip then in a St Kevin's Uni Blues prelim?
I said I had Brighton beating.
Okay,
St Kevin's.
Right. All right. Well,
but anyway,
Brighton Blues then.
I Geez, that's a tough one. I would probably say at the moment, Blues just...
We did see them play off a week ago, and the Blues look pretty good.
Yeah, bear in mind Brighton's going to get better with a few more players coming back too. They're not. Brighton is a real smoky, but I think it's probably just a little bit too hard having to play that extra game.
Well, and what we touched on, obviously, we saw 2 weeks ago. They've got good form against Xavs. They played Xavs well.
Yeah, they did a number on them here.
Yeah.
I reckon Xavs were a bit flat at that stage.
Yeah.
They were still in that little patch where they weren't playing good footy.
So you mentioned the Snow Dogs are going down. Who's the other team? I don't know if you gave me the second team. Out of Blacks, Haileybury, Caulfield,
it's out of
Trinity.
I still think it's
mathematically.
I still think it's out of Trinity and Haileybury.
Which one stays up?
I think probably Haileybury just do, but they've got to get their skates on. Geez, they've got to get their skates. I'll have to have a look at who Haileybury play in.
So their next 2 games are Xavs at home.
No, they won't win that.
And Blacks at University Oval.
No, they're done. Their goose is cooked.
All right, well, going into the tips next week, Old Scotch Uni Blacks at Canberra Sports Ground.
I'll go with the Blacks there, I think.
Play along, gents.
Blacks.
Scotchies.
Scotchies at home.
Blues and Fields at University Oval.
Blues.
Surely they won't lose 2 in a row.
No.
Snow Dogs and Tunners at the Snake Pit.
Yeah, Tunners.
Tough, though.
Do you give St Bernard's any chance?
Oh, you definitely give them a chance.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering whether today was their grand final a little bit because, to get up again next week against the top 4 team.
They've got a whole range of finals coming
The one
up.
thing they want is a good old-fashioned Shizen fight, which is what they had today. Low scoring. You could just see a lot of behinds kicked. It was just, they would have been repeat stoppage city. There would have been, they probably started 4 fights, all that sort of thing. Whereas I think Brighton can handle that. I think Brighton can really grind another team. Brighton are a very physical team. They can handle the physical stuff.
It's a tough place to go, though, the Snake Pit. And if it's a kick in at the final term...
For the commentators too, don't worry about
that. Old Trinity St Kevin's at Daily Oval. Win here for the Tees and they're safe.
No, St Kevin's.
St Kevin. I wouldn't want to be playing St Kevin's next week after
no
this.
Way. No way. Geez, I might even go past their training on Tuesday night.
See if the lights are on.
Bring your mouth guards, boys.
And Old Haileybury, Old Xaverians.
Xavs.
All right, beauty.
Where's the SEN crew next week?
That's a great question, Bruce.
We've got...
I tend to be the last one to know these
Caulfield. Caulfield Park. Princess Park we are. We've got the Haileybury...
Haileybury Xavs.
Yeah, we've got that one.
Double Xavs.
All righty, beauty. We're back there. All right, and that's going to be it from us. That's the post-match show. Thanks to Salt Financial. Done, dusted it in the books. Full time here at Toorak Park. Old Xaverians have all but locked up the double chance for 2026 with a 39-point win over St Kevin's, 14-10, 94 to 8-7-55. Of course, a cast of thousands to thank, and Buttons Bruce doing all the work behind the scenes. We wouldn't be on air without him. So thank you again, Bruce, for all your work today. Down the boundary line, he's braved sunshine conditions. Cooper Watkins, thank you, Cooper.
Thank you.
Hugo Higginbotham, our Match of the Day expert commentator. Thank you again.
Thanks, Matty. Probably didn't get to the heights that we'd hoped today, but still a good contest regardless.
And Brent Sternberg, my fellow co-commentator. Great to have one in the box with me. Always a pleasure working with you, Brent.
Thank you, Matty. I like that last segment too. There's like a VAFA fireball.
VAFA crunch time, VAFA fireball. Yeah, I tell you, it all just comes to us. This is there's no copying here or plagiarising. We come up with these ideas all on our own. And of course, to all of you who have been tuning in right throughout the course of the afternoon, be it on vafa.com.au or the SEN app. My name is Matthew Donald. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in today. We look forward to having you join us.